begin transmission. Hello, everybody. It is I, Chris, aka Starrapter, joined as always by Ben and Milton. This is episode number 52, and we are doing another commentary for the first released Star Wars spinoff that is Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which happens to be my favorite of all the Disney Star Wars films. So I'm looking very much to getting into our deep dive into this movie. How are you guys feeling? What's going on with you, Ben, these days?
Um, I'm doing pretty good. I had a good week. I just finished watching Halo, actually, the new Halo episode right before we got onto this podcast, and I love it. Anybody who wants a new show to go along with their weekly Star Wars related activities, I highly recommend the Halo show on Paramount Plus. Like it fits right in the realm for Star Wars fans, I think, because it's sci-fi action. I'm sure a good chunk of Star Wars fans have played Halo before. So I just think it's a really good show. So I mean, you have that I've been up to, and then just briefly for my week in Star Wars, I didn't really have a super exciting week other than actually yesterday. I think I messaged it in our group chat, but I just pre-ordered the Lego game coming out. So I'm all ready for that, and can't wait to play it this coming week.
Oh, heck yeah. So I did the math. If you watch all the episodes of Halo, I think it leads right up to like the week of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So I'm using that as my like milestone metric to be like, the closer we get to the end of the series, which I'm also very much enjoying, Ben, the closer we get to that. Plus, I'm also watching Moon Knight. Speaking of Star Wars, Oscar Isaac, I mean, he's killing it. There's one episode out, and he does such a good job with the British accent. Like, holy crap, like that, and just everything about it so far is very cinematic and shot on location and like the Swiss Alps and all that kind of thing. It's a really nice looking show with a lot of mystery and intrigue. So yeah, it's nice to see shows coming back, because up until these last couple of weeks, I've really just haven't had a reason to really tune into anything ongoing, because there really hasn't been anything in genre that's been out. What about you, Milton? Are you keeping up with any of these recent series or anything other than that?
Honestly, not really. My couple weeks have been really busy with work and other stuff, so I haven't really had time to actually watch Halo. I do want to watch it eventually. I heard it actually is good from you guys through the group chats and also prior to the podcast. Moon Knight, I haven't seen it yet. I'll definitely try to get to that this weekend. But like I said, when I'm not doing podcasts and stuff, I'm pretty much caught up in the real world, unfortunately, with work. However, it doesn't stop me from being a nerd. So like I said, I do still pay attention to Star Wars. Obviously, we may talk about the news of or Obi-Wan being moved, to a different day for the premiere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh yeah.
crazy.
Let's do a little. You guys want to do a quick little just impromptu, just 5 minute discussion on that?
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my intro information as always. So for those of you that are wanting to figure out how we're going to do this Rogue One commentary, we've done all the prequels, we have done solo Star Wars stories. How this works is we like to use Disney Plus because that's what everybody has their fingertips, at most likely. So we just go ahead and start that and drag that cursor all the way to the left where it's 000, and we will do a countdown when we're ready to get into it. And we'll try to give you guys like every maybe 30 minutes to an hour, I'll give you guys like a timestamp of, hey, we're here, in case you join later into the live discussion, because that's my segue into, hey, if you're listening to this after the fact on any of the podcast platforms like Spotify or Apple Music, you can also watch this live pretty much most Fridays. Now, next Friday, we aren't going to be live. We'll be pre-recorded. But most Fridays, you can catch us here and join in live on the chat to have fun with us here talking about all things Star Wars. So, yes, wanted to get that out of the way. We can download us on any podcast search, Outer Rim Transmission, and do subscribe to the YouTube channel so that way you guys are notified the second we go live when we do go live. So, yes, we're talking about Rogue One as our major topic, but it is worth noting, as Milton was hinting at, that, yes, the Obi-Wan series did get moved from the official Star Wars Day of May 25th 2 days later to May 27th, which has a couple different ramifications. And we're also getting an additional episode in the same week. So that's pretty exciting. So we'll start off with that. Like, what are your thoughts on us just getting 2 episodes in 1 week?
I mean, I'm hyped for it. I think that's how I think Boba Fett should have been done as a 2 episode premiere. I feel like a lot of these shows need to come off strong, and I really feel like Kathleen and that team must feel really confident in this show to premiere 2 straight episodes in one day, and they're going to be about an hour a piece. So that's 2 hours of Obi-Wan we're getting on a premiere on a Friday. That's going to be amazing. I mean, I'd be surprised to see. Only thing that's going to be surprising is people actually staying up that late to watch the show, because I'm assuming it's going to premiere at 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So they're going to have to actually get some early sleep so they can do 2 hours of Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, that's a good point, Milton. With me and my 3 o'clock in the morning Star Wars viewings. Yeah. I guess I'll have to be going to bed. Probably. I don't know. I'll probably just end up staying up half the night anyways, and like play Star Wars Lego and go with it. Yeah, for me though, I really think it's great that they did that. That was a nice surprise. Like, I just opened up Twitter that a couple days ago when that happened, or yesterday when that happened, and I refreshed it, and it was like a special message from Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it was from the Kenobi account. And I clicked on it, and it was this video of Ewan saying, Star Wars Kenobi's getting moved, and let's all watch it together, and we'll watch the first 2 episodes of the series. So as you mentioned, Chris, like this show, they must have confidence in it to air the first 2 episodes, and they have precedence in doing this. Like, I saw some people saying, "Oh, why would they premiere the first 2 episodes?" But they've already done that for Bad Batch. I feel like, didn't they do that for Mandalorian as well? Because I just think when it comes to Star Wars, like, they've had precedence in this. So I just think it'll be really great for Kenobi to get the ball rolling. And especially because, the first episode of any series is a little bit maybe slower or not as action-packed. So this will potentially allow the story to build more and give us that action in the second episode back to back. It'll basically be a movie. We're basically getting a Kenobi movie on May 27th.
Yeah, so what happened before is the first episode of Mandalorian aired on Wednesday, and then they aired another one on Friday. So it was almost like we haven't had 2 episodes on the same day, which is basically going to make it like a movie. Yeah, so that's exciting. Now I'm wondering if there's two reasons, and they could both go hand in hand, why they could have moved it. First off, I realized that Stranger Things season 4 is coming out literally that day, so Disney Plus is probably like, we're going to throw one of our biggest franchises out, Stranger Things, which up until this point has been, like, I guess the #1 show on Netflix in general. So Disney's like maybe trying to like play a power move and be like, let's take some of their viewers from that. Because like the hardcore Star Wars fans are not even going to realize that Stranger Things is out on that day now, because it's like, who cares about that? I'm watching Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, so it's going to be very interesting for like the perspective of the streaming wars to
But you know what though,
out.
like, the difference is that we're going to get the whole season of Stranger Things on Netflix. That's how it works. They don't do episode weekly. So that's why it's okay for Netflix to get away with that, because it's like, we know we're going to get the viewership. They know they're going to get people to premiere. And this is the final season, I believe, and it's a 2-parter. So I think the first part of Stranger Things premieres May. Second part's July. So it's not like they're not going to get the viewership, and they're totally okay. And like, don't get me wrong, like, Star Wars is great and all, but Boba Fett kind of left a taste in some people's mouth, an odd taste. Not saying it was trash, but it wasn't the most consistent show. So people may say, well, oh, man, is Kenobi going to be garbage? Do I even want to watch it? I don't think it will be garbage, because if it is, I'm going to riot. So
if it is though, we'll be the first ones to tell you about it.
You're damn right.
That is the. I mean, we're all banking this show on paper should be like the best Star Wars anything under Disney, in my opinion.
Facts.
But if it's not, I mean, we'll tell you about it. We'll be honest. Like, that's the best part. Like, about a lot of people just want to sugarcoat everything when it comes to Star Wars or Marvel. Heck, today I had a funny little discussion on Twitter. Somebody tweeted and was like, I just wanted to announce, like, I'm kind of tired of like the Marvel formula and the way Marvel movies do things and stuff. And I responded to him and I was like, yeah, I am too. Like, I think there's too many cameos, and I just think Marvel heavily relies on it. Like, for example, if Spider-Man No Way Home didn't have the cameos it had, people would have complained and destroyed that movie. So, like, and it was funny because that guy was joking, like, because it was April Fool's, but it's like, I'm not joking about it. It's fine to be critical of popular things. So like, it's like, hey, if Kenobi's bad, we'll tell you about it. But I think, especially based on different things around the internet, I think Kenobi's going to be great. I really
Mm-hmm.
do.
Yeah. So let's talk about the real reason why they actually moved this thing. And I think it's because, when you go ahead and you plan a series, like they got to plan this out months in advance. I'm talking months and months in advance for like the release dates, because it's not just especially with Disney Plus. It's not just Star Wars dealing with. They're dealing with like Disney's own intellectual properties. They're dealing with Marvel. They're dealing with Pixar. They're dealing with all these other series and movies releasing. So like they have to really strategically think and put their ducks all in a row. And if you take it back months and months ago, well, I think there was still a doubt that Celebration could have been happening, right? Pandemic could have been, could have been going the wrong way. So I think they had to make a decision and say, let's just put it out on Star Wars Day just to be safe. It'll be out there. And then they realized that Celebration's a green light. It's all good. The coast is clear for now. It's like crap. Well, maybe we could push it back just 2 more days and we could give people 2 episodes and have a premiere screening there. So I think that's really the reason. And a lot of people are like scratching their heads, like, why would they only move it 2 days? I think they didn't know that Celebration was happening, and they had to plan the original release date so far in advance that I think we'll see probably like the people in Anaheim, California, are going to be able to see it probably that Thursday at some point. Get the hype ready and start talking on social media after they've seen it. And a couple hours later, the whole rest of the world will be hyped to watch it that day, that night. So we're gonna get the ball rolling with that, and that's gonna be pretty cool. Because I mean, why not have Ewan McGregor? Why not have Hayden Christensen there and have 5,000 fans losing their minds and getting the hype trend going? So I think that's pretty easy to figure out. That's probably the real reason there.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like they're gonna have the cast there. Like when you go there, like you're gonna have Ewan and Hayden and all those people. And I feel like depending on when the panel is, like with the Kenobi cast, I feel like there's a chance, they'd want to talk about it. Basically under like the assumption maybe some of the audience has like seen it. Like I feel like they won't go into like heavy spoilers, but I feel like they'll really dive into it, I think.
Yeah, like they actually might just like start the panel, just be like, oh, we're gonna just show you the episodes now, because I've seen there at New York Comic Con, like they'll show the episode and then talk about it after for like 15 minutes.
Yep.
So
that's what I think is going to happen, because that's what happened with Mando, I believe.
Yeah. Wait, no, we actually never seen all of Mando. They showed us like a 10-minute
Or was it just a scene
thing. It was so long ago. I think it was, yeah, it was the intro, like one of the intro things where he's walking through the town.
Actually, I might be thinking of I think they did that for Clone Wars, the season, whichever season it was Thrawn was in. I'm pretty sure they showed the first
You mean
whatever
Rebels?
celebration or Rebels, my bad. Yeah, Rebels. I think Rebels, they showed it at Celebration from what I've heard. I can't confirm that though, but I'm pretty sure they have. So I mean, you guys have a good chance of it. I really think you're going to see the episodes since they're announcing it like this.
And if not, guess what? Every one of those hotels rooms, there's going to be Hotel Obi-Wan parties. The people
Pretty much.
We're gonna show up. Everybody's gonna show up at the convention the next day with red eyes, and literally nobody has slept. People's hair is gonna be all like, I've been up for 24 hours because I had to stay up till 5 a.m. and then go to the panel at 11 a.m. So
what state is this in again?
California.
Oh, you guys are lucky then.
Oh, that's
coming
right.
out at midnight then. It's midnight. You're lucky. It's midnight for you guys.
That's one advantage, but there you go. There's your update on Obi-Wan Kenobi. Again, we're gonna leave our news discussions to next week, so you can look out for that. But I don't want to waste any more time because we got one of my favorite movies to talk about while watching, and that is Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. So for everybody that is getting ready to watch, again, we're using Disney Plus. You go ahead, hit that play button, but drag it all the way to 000 on the timestamp. And Ben and Milton, are you guys ready?
One moment. It's popping up. Okay, I'm good when you guys are.
All right, so we're gonna count down in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So, what was your reaction to the intro without actual opening crawl? Because it's the first time in a movie we didn't get a crawl, cold open.
That's a good question. So I know a lot of complaints. I remember when this movie came out, there's a lot of complaints about it. Like they said it was just too just blah. You couldn't really just ease your way into it like you would with an opening crawl. However, I get that, but I'm actually okay that there was no opening crawl. It just wasn't needed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got that kind of jump scare moment. Boom,
Yeah,
like the musical cue. And even the way I like how they portray the planetary ring. It almost looks like it's a Star Destroyer coming over the screen, like gliding over the screen.
right. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think they could have done a better job at their introduction. Don't get me wrong. I would probably say that's one of the weakest parts of the movie, which is that's a nitpick because I love this movie. But yeah, they could have eased us into what they were trying to do here. But obviously, we're going to really get into the action, as you see.
Yeah. And here we hear that the awesome score of Michael Giacchino. And I believe he only had literally weeks to do this score
Yeah,
because
I think it
they
was like
replaced
two
him.
months. Yeah, it was like 2 months, I think, for what I remember. Actually, this is one of my favorite scores because I remember I downloaded this score, and a lot of people were like, it's not John Williams, blah blah blah. But I feel like Giacchino can be the next composer for Star Wars. Like he's that good.
He's so good because everything he does, and it's a credit to him, you don't know it's him. Like he has
Right,
such diversity when it comes to creating music for just about anything.
for sure.
So it's just really cool because like John Williams, for instance, you can understand like, hey, Harry Potter, that sounds like John Williams, or Jaws,
Mhm.
or whatever, or those are all classic soundtracks that sound like big bombastic classical esque type things, and well, Michael Giacchino is just all over the place for a good reason. So
Yes, but here's one of my complaints about the movie. This is a stupid one. Why the hell are they parking so far? Like, couldn't they just roll up to the house
Yeah.
quick?
I
Yeah.
think
That's one of
yeah,
that's one of the weirdest parts about it for me as well. Like this opening sequence, because it's like if you're going there, like the Urso family is there. Like,
Mhm.
why would you not just land right outside the front door and surround the house with stormtroopers or your I guess death troopers and just arrest them basically. Like
right.
I don't know. It was kind of a weird opening, but I do like this opening. The cinematography of this whole opening sequence with Krennic and with the family and everyone. Like I think it looks visually great.
Oh, it's tight. Oh, it looks great. I mean, those Death Troopers, which we've never seen at this point at the time of this film coming out, like these stormtroopers look like they can hit stuff. I was like, okay, they look official, and I love how they don't speak like basic. Like I mean, like through the helmets. I guess it's somewhere like code or something. Do we know what
Yes,
that
Yep.
language is?
it's scrambled up code so the enemies can't understand what they're
Yeah,
saying.
I love it. I was like, that's pretty dope. Like that's a creative way to branch out Star Wars even more.
Yeah. Now, did either of you read the Star Wars Catalyst book by I forget
Yep.
the author's name beforehand?
It was James
Um,
Lucino.
Yes, that was correct. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I listened to the audiobook.
Oh,
Same here.
nice.
I was gonna say me and Milton both listened to the
Yeah, you
audiobook
already
and
know. Yeah.
the best part about the audiobook is so Krennic, for example, having he's from Australia, I believe, or
Yeah.
New Zealand area. He has that bit of an accent, and it's great because when they're reading the audiobook, the person puts kind of like a New Zealand Australian accent on Krennic in the audiobook, so it's
Oh.
more like realistic to Mendelssohn's character. So I really like the audiobook because it set me up so well going into this movie. Because I'm
Mhm.
sure you felt the same, Milton. Like when we were seeing these characters and stuff, you're like, oh man, I already know about him. I already know about all these people.
No, it makes the movie consistent. I think it keeps the characters consistent. I like Krennic as a character, honestly. I think now when you watch New Hope, and let's be real here, this movie clearly strengthens New Hope a lot more. Like New Hope was already good, but this makes it better. But I feel like Krennic, and I've always wondered, like, man, if Krennic would have survived, how would he have been in New Hope? Because he would have had a seat at the table. I think they actually kind of express it in like a book or something that this was Krennic's seat. I think on the comic they say like, oh,
And
Krennic would have been sitting here at this point if he would have survived or something.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
in A New Hope, there's an empty chair.
Yeah.
that's such a cool little thing that was left in A New Hope. How they somehow, not they had obviously planned it, but this is one of my favorite lines. Oh, there's back from the dead. Like just this. I love the
Yeah.
humor of Krennic. He's a little bit different of an officer, a little rough around the edges almost to a certain degree.
Right.
Well, he's trying to get a promotion. I mean, he's trying to be Tarkin,
Yeah, because this has to be what,
basically.
at least what, 10 years after Revenge of the Sith ish.
Yeah, at this point, I
Yeah.
would say it's around. No, at this point, I think it's like 3 years or four
Oh,
years.
And one of
maybe, yeah,
um,
potentially.
one of the coolest parts about this too, about Catalyst, is as well, just to throw in there. So like, it gave such a neat little backstory for our viewers and listeners. So basically, in that book, yeah, when the Empire was building the Death Star, they actually, they had the Geonosians build it, or like really work on the outside, like the space parts of it. And then the crazy part about it was, just to show how ruthless Krennic was. He Once they were done building it or using the Geonosians for the parts they did, they put him in a room and just firing squad. They just eliminated all the Geonosian workers because they're like, well, why keep them around? And it's like, that built the ruthlessness of Krennic's character a lot for me.
Well, I mean that ties into like actual like history in the world of like genocide when it comes
Yep.
to like the Jewish culture, and I believe there's a
Yep.
story in Russian culture. I think it's like the 13. What's the one of those like big nice buildings in Russia?
Oh, yeah.
What it looks like an ice cream scoop, the tower or whatever. But I guess like one of the czars like scooped the eyeballs out of the designer because he's like, can you make another one of these places? He's like, oh, I'm sure I could in about 10 years. And he's like, nope, I'm just gonna just take his
Oh,
talent away.
yeah.
Oh
So
my
Yeah.
like that's
god!
actual history. I forget what czar did it, but
Wow.
like it's
Well,
crazy how history is brought into movies here. Like, well, why would did it give the Geonosians an opportunity to
yeah.
build this machine potentially for someone else?
Well, and
Let's eliminate that part of the equation.
yeah, and a really cool connective tissue part for the Geonosians is, this is where, I've been pretty critical of the way Star Wars handles canon as of late, but it was one of the best parts where they handled it properly was, with this movie right around the same time, shortly after Rebels came out, you had the Rebels Ghost Crew go to Geonosis, and the Geonosians were pretty much all but wiped out, and like,
Mm,
they were alluding to all of this, like the Death Star. So like, it's just cool to see how things connect.
right. Yeah, this opening here for just that Rogue One, it looked kind of clip arty, but it's
Yeah, I was
whatever.
thinking the same thing. It was a
Microsoft
little
Word.
cheap looking.
Yeah, I'm like,
And it was just like the music cue was just kind of off. Like it seemed like it was like
yeah,
way too bright for like what is happening so far.
all right.
But this is neat because we get to see some Clone Wars tech utilized in the original trilogy era with the Juggernaut clone tank being repurposed by the Empire as a prisoner vehicle
Yeah.
on
One thing I
Wabani.
do like about this particular scene is that we get to see like the name of the planets. Like it was cool because I mean a lot of these planets are newer. This is the one movie in the entire Star Wars saga of Disney's regime is that they actually went to different planets. Like this is what the trading outpost.
Yep.
I love this planet.
I
You
hope we
know,
see this. Oh, wow. Was that a Reaper? I never. So here we go again. That's another ship I didn't realize from a movie that I've seen 100 times. I've seen a TIE Phantom, which is a ship that either the Inquisitors or the Death Troopers use flying over. Um,
Interesting.
but hey, I hope we see this, speaking of who, in the Cassian Andor series, because I think there's a lot of potential they could have him on this planet already. Maybe this is like a place he goes to often for information from this Tivik guy.
yeah, I thought this was pretty cool scene. I mean, they show the brutalness of the rebellion. They show that side of it because that we see a New Hope, we see them as this glassy, shiny organization that's doing the right thing. When we forget like this is war, so good people do bad things too, and it's like he's got to protect an ideal of the rebellion. So I'm gonna kill this spy to protect our secrets. Like even though he's an ally, he's like, well, I gotta just eliminate the potential threat of things going to hell.
Yeah, that was one of the most. I mean, heck, we're only a few minutes into this movie. That was one of the most surprising parts when we were watching this opening night in the theater.
Mm.
Was I was like, holy smokes, a rebel just killed like pretty much one of their own friends. Like, I don't know, it was just such a weird turn. But like you said, it's realistic. Like we mentioned about the Geonosians getting exterminated. The good guys like in our real life war, they're not all good guys. Like
Yeah.
so it's just a good like reflection of real life, I would say.
Well, Ben, it's not even like they're not good guys. I mean, a lot of them probably have all good intentions, but even
Yeah.
good guys have to do bad things in war, or they have to do
Yep.
the necessary thing in war.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about Star Wars is a lot of it has been black and white, right? Like Darth Vader, stormtroopers, they're bad.
Yeah. Like
Cassian, Cassian Andor,
just
rebels,
executed him.
Leia,
Yeah.
everybody
Like
good. He just
and
executed.
Andor executed this guy, and I don't let you finish, Chris. I'm sorry, but he executed this guy. Now he's trying to escape because he knows that he has a bigger purpose when it comes to the rebellion, and I'm sure we may see that side in the Andor series.
Oh yeah, I think we'll probably see Tivik. It'll
Mm.
make it even of a harder thing that he does after we see like the relationship between them, perhaps.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I, I, I I definitely think we'll see that guy just because of the fact, you know, under heck, even say what you want about the Disney regime, but they've definitely incorporated some like darker Star Wars jokes. Like in this
Mm.
movie alone, when he gets to Bale saying he's heading to Alderaan, like it's like, oh, So I for sure think we're going to see that guy in the Andor series.
All right.
hmm So here we see Bodhi Rook and Benthic Two Tubes, who has been one of my favorite aliens in Star Wars that was introduced in the Disney era. And you also have what is it? The Gregorian guy behind the big Wampa looking white creature, Moffak or something like that. So they have a
Mm.
lot of cool characters. Oh, I want to welcome Erin Daly into the chat room here. She's watching along with us, and everybody else can watch along with us as well. And thanks for doing so. But yeah, this is interesting because the beginning of this movie does jump around quite a bit, right? We're going to Wabani, we're going to Ring of Catherine, we're going to Jeddah, all within 10 minutes. So I know some people are like, "Oh man, I'm getting whiplash from all the locations we're going to," but it's pretty cool because we're getting introduced to all these characters that we need to see where their journeys begin because they all collide later on in the movie.
This movie actually moves pretty quickly. Like
hmm
I forgot how fast this movie does move.
Yeah. So I was misspoken before. I said we were on Wabani. I guess they were on some other planet or something at the time when she was in jail, but.
Mm. Well, yeah, I mean they're on Wobani now, so I mean we're good. I mean I love this scene. It's you can see how dirty and grimy the Empire is.
Yeah, you see the armor on that stormtrooper? It's like, damn.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you know, you mentioned dirty and grimy, Milton. Like that was one of the best parts of this movie. I feel like even seeing this after Force Awakens, this movie felt more, I guess, quote unquote, like lived in than Force Awakens. Even like it just felt really realistic. I think, throughout the whole thing. Honestly, just costume design, the way the sets were designed, like it just felt more realistic than just like a bunch of like CGI and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so we were just introduced to K2SO, and this is an interesting droid because we get droids in every Star Wars movie, but the fact that we got a reprogrammed droid is something we've never quite seen in Star Wars, and that's a really cool character that is still one of the standout droids introduced in the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, I love the look of this base. Yavin 4 obviously again it plays a huge, it's a character itself in the New Hope film, and I love how it looks just like it. Just it looks a bit cleaner because of the technology of filmmaking, but it still looks great. Like it looks like the same base, obviously.
hmm
Oh, 100%. Like in the meeting room right here, like it like you said, it just looks like a cleaner, updated version of A New Hope, which is great. Like it's great they did this, but it's also really good that they didn't go over the top, like making it like extravagant, just because they have to have it sync up with A New Hope.
and Mon Mothma. I love this. The actress that played Mon Mothma in Revenge of the
Revenge of the
Sith,
Sith,
correct? And yes,
deleted
which I'm glad
scene.
they brought her back.
Yep.
That's amazing.
She's gonna
And
also be in Cassian Andor. Yep.
yeah. But here's the thing, though. She looks just like the original actress from the Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Which is perfect because I mean she is younger in this particular timeline of the movie, and she'll be a little bit older, which is like 4 or 5 years later. So it totally works.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And here we get the information about Saw Gerrera, right? This is a character that was big coming from the Clone Wars. This is our big like first animated character being super important that he's actually implanted into a live action movie. That was a huge deal. And another thing I was mentioning before about everything being black and white in Star Wars up until around this point, because between Cassian Andor shooting his own guy to the extremism of Saw Gerrera and his partisans on Jedha, it's like, oh wow, this is where we're getting deeper layers of Star Wars and what makes this movie one of the best Star Wars movies in my opinion.
Oh, without question. I mean, this movie again. I would say this movie and the way they made it stands up to any Star Wars movie that's really good. I mean, this is actually a really good film in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like especially for we talk about a lot of the issues now that went on with Solo. This movie had a lot of movie making issues as well. Like, there was all kinds of different things going on with Gareth Edwards and Disney, and there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on. So for this movie to turn out as well as it did, like it's great. It's impressive actually.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is all based on a story about a paragraph from opening crawl of A New Hope, just okay, there's this battle. They had the plans. It's like, all right, what happens with those plans? And it's a very intricate plot that it had a lot of moving parts, and man oh man did they make it well.
And there's my man Bail Organa just popping on out. Like I'm so glad they got Jimmy Smits back to play that role. Like he is Bail Organa, and if his development in this movie, whether even though it was short, was perfect.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see him in Cassian. This whole cast is basically coming back. Oh, there goes the
We're gonna see.
ghosts.
Oh, yep. I was
Where
gonna say
I missed it.
Ghost was
Yeah,
coming up.
gotcha.
Right on the left side. Yeah, there's a decent amount of Easter eggs in this movie that I'll try to call out.
Yeah, I
Oh
know we
yeah.
hear. I know at one point we hear like Captain Syndulla at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, K2. I like K2SO. I liked his particular humor, very dry, direct, but also it was funny.
I feel like he's gonna be in the Andor series as well.
I think
Oh,
we
he
know
has
that
to
he's
be.
getting season two. He's gonna
Yeah.
get in season two. We'll see.
Well, I mean, I think he has to come back. I mean, he pretty much. I think everyone fell in love with that particular character in the movie, so I think he has to come back. Like those two are a match made in heaven. Him and Cassian.
So there's a cool ending for the superior to Cassian Andor. What is his name? Like Davin or Davik or something like that. I forget his name. The
Not
commanding
sure.
officer, but apparently he goes down, trying to hold off the Darth Vader, like boarding like the space station. But it's pretty badass because the guy goes out swinging, like he's like firing his blaster, and it's like another Darth Vader Hall scene all over again. He just gets killed. But it was like this guy kind of seems like a bit of a jerk for sure in this movie, but like he's still a rebel, And it's like even though he had that really awesome death off screen, it was pretty neat.
Right.
Yeah, that's a cool little tidbit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was in the Battle of Mech Shaw, which is in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Oh,
That's
so he lives
also
through A New Hope.
Yeah, and that's also the same storyline where Rogue Squadron gets its name based off of like somebody telling Luke about Jyn Erso and Rogue One. Like he uses that as an
Gotcha.
inspiration to build up Rogue Squadron. So That's a cool little tidbit because it all comes full circle. It's like Rogue One, Rogue Squadron. Could they have been interlinked? And yes, they did end up putting that together in one of the comics. So
That's what's up.
Interesting.
I love the design of the U-wing. That's one of the best Star Wars ships we've had in a while. Just the way that it just spreads out its wings and it retracts and extends.
Mm.
Oh
I
yeah.
like.
Well, vehicles are always like such a staple. I feel like in Star Wars, like any new iteration, like the U-wings, even the way the X-wings look in this movie later on. Like I just feel like the vehicle design in every Star Wars movie or show, just I don't know, it's just always so good looking. Even going back to A New Hope, like they always just are such a draw. I feel like they're right there in Star Wars, like next to the lightsabers and the droids. Like vehicles are right there in like the top five like iconic Star Wars things, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they needed something for a big battle that's going to be like, D-Day
Yep.
in World War II. Like they had to have a drop ship to get the troops there because all we've had is snub fighters. You can't transport more than one or two people in those things. So makes a lot of sense.
No, I love this particular scene here with Saw Gerrera. Like he is one of my favorite characters in this movie, and obviously for
Wow.
the great Forrest Whitaker. I
Yeah,
mean, he's
people are
awesome.
torn on this character, but I think it's because he was so extreme from the Clone Wars to this. But again, the power of the canon, right? You've seen throughout the years they've been kind of showing the slow degradation of Saul Guerrero through all the war he's been through, right? You see him in Clone Wars, he's a perfectly good guy, and then I think the next thing you see him in is Jedi Fallen Order. No, you see him in Bad Batch.
Hmm.
Then you see him in Jedi Fallen Order. Then you see him in Rebels, and by the time we get to like Rebels, he's like arguing with Mon Mothma, and that's like 3 or 4 years before A New Hope at that point. He's already has like the respirator or like the armor and stuff you see him in. So, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see him in as well in Cassian Andor series. So it's
Yeah.
like we're
Dude, this
gonna really
shot's
see.
amazing.
Yeah, the
Yeah. Now
cinematography, like you said, Milton, is great.
Yeah.
oh yeah, the cinematography is great. Now I can definitely add in. I am definitely one of those Saul Guerrera like not fans of his character. Like I don't know. I just didn't like his translation. Like I think almost. I mean, it may sound crazy, but I feel like it's too accurate, like too extreme. Like I don't know. It just felt too cartoony almost to me. Like it just felt so over the top. Given that's what his character is, like I can acknowledge that. It just felt like a bit too much for me. Given love Forrest Whitaker, he's amazing. I just I don't know. I'm definitely torn on his on Saul Guerrero in live action in general. But I mean, I'm sure my opinion may change like coming up to the Andor series, like once we see him again and however he's portrayed.
Now, can we talk about this Tarkin like CGI? Fire.
This
I
was
was
Oh
the
yeah.
shocked.
first step.
I did not know he was going to be in the movie. I ain't gonna lie.
They could have
I
Yeah.
easily
When
didn't.
had
would
it. Go ahead, Ben.
Oh, I was gonna say, when would have this been getting like made? Like, I'm thinking about would have this been like about 5 or 6 years ago? They would have been doing
This would have
this,
been like
like for
2015 that
the
they were working
time.
on
Yeah,
this, probably.
because when did Force Awakens come out?
2015.
Yeah, so this came out in 2017,
Oh
I
yeah.
believe. Yeah,
No,
so they started
16.
this. Was it 16?
Yep.
I thought they were released. They came out a Star Wars movie every year.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was every year. It was
Oh,
back to
that's
back
right.
to
Yeah,
back
that's
to
right.
back.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
So this could have been 2014. Maybe they would have started this.
Yeah. Think how impressive that is. That was 7 years ago or so, 7 years ago, and look how good Tarkin looks. Like,
I love how we
Right.
get the little shot of Coruscant.
I was gonna say we gotta talk about that. This is our only shot in
oh,
current Star Wars live action movies where we see Coruscant. I
Yeah.
hope Cassian Andor he goes there undercover, tries to get something from an Imperial stronghold or something.
Right.
I think I feel like we might see it in Kenobi maybe,
Huh.
Potentially. Um,
possibly.
but no, just to go back on Tarkin, like yeah, the technology is amazing how far it's come, and at that time for them to, I wouldn't say perfect it, but make it look pretty convincing. I thought it did its job.
Oh yeah, definitely did its job for sure. They could have easily had an actor just staring out the window and him talking, and that would have been enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Or they could have done a hologram, like a hologram. Like a hologram would have made it like, okay, that makes sense. Tarkin's away, on a mission somewhere or like on another ship. No, they wanted to show him like live and in person.
and it's not even one scene; it's like multiple scenes.
Yes, he's in a
Like
lot.
he's an integral part to the story. It's not just a cameo.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
like it just well with him and whoever the voice actor was it. I think it was Steven Sant who plays him. But he did a
Now,
great
Steven
job.
Sand does
Like,
the voice in Rebels
Yeah.
and Bad Batch, but I think there was a
does
different
he?
actor
Was it? See,
than
I
him
thought it
in
was
Rogue
Steven
One.
Stanton in this, but I could be wrong. But anyways, regardless of the actor, like whoever the actor was, really like nailed the Peter Cushing voice. It sounded just like him. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
What I really like about the location of Jeddah is even though the story doesn't have a Jedi in it, it still manages to have a story that revolves around Jedi, with the ancient planet of Jeddah being a pilgrimage planet people go to, like a Mecca in Star Wars, and there's like kyber crystals that they're mining. Like, that is so neat. Seeing these lander ships and seeing a Star Destroyer just like docked out like in planetary atmosphere is also something like we haven't really seen in live action. It's just a physical thing. It's like, wow, that is something unique. Yeah. So for those of you that are joining us, we are about 26 minutes in, and that's where Jin, Cassin, and K2S are planning on going to Jeddah City. So,
So, do you guys think at the time of this movie coming out, did you honestly feel that we're going to see a lot of Jedi in this movie?
Um, I did not. Well, I don't know. Once we started hearing more and more about it, because there were so many different rumors and different things about it, but leading up to it, there was like really no rumors that Jedi were going to be in it. I I, I kind of went into it thinking basically the only Force user we're going to see is Darth Vader, and that's pretty much what we got to. Like I really going into it, I didn't think we were going to see Obi-Wan. The only chance I really thought we could have potentially seen Obi-Wan was due to the trailer from Celebration, I believe,
Right.
where it was Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan's voiceover, over the trees and stuff. Like I don't know, it felt like maybe that could be
Right.
potentially. But other than that, I felt like Vader was the only one really going into it. Like I didn't, it just falls into the whole timeline. Like you're introducing these characters, like even if say Jen was going to be a Jedi, like where's she at in A New Hope? It's always that looming question of where these characters are.
That makes
yeah.
sense.
So this is a great look at Imperial occupation, right? Like this is another thing we haven't seen much of, like in a planet that is an urban environment with plenty of TIE fighters, plenty of stormtroopers, ATSTs, and this is one of the most egregious cameos. It's just like, hey, let's just throw in Panda Baba in there with Dr. Evazan, and that's it. It
Oh, you don't like that?
was, I mean, it's like just throw these guys in there, and it's not the first time they do that in this movie, and I'll point out to the next one.
Yeah, I know what other one you're talking about. We'll talk about that one later. But I thought it was a fine little cameo. See, like I don't know, it was fine. I think just because it was like, oh, haha, it's kind of like connecting us to A New Hope. Like we get it. Like I don't know, it was fine. I guess like as long as uh, you know. I was fine with it just because they weren't like an integral part of the story. Like if they just popped in and was like, "Hey, we're coming with you guys," like then it would have been like, "Whoa."
Okay, true.
I love the look of Jeddah though. We'll throw that in there.
Yeah, it's another desert planet, but they definitely diversify it enough with the people that are in there, like all these religious types. They have so many different like religions. If you like get the
Yeah.
visual
Well,
dictionary and see all that.
yeah. Like I don't know about you, Milton, but like for me, I feel like Jeddah. It kind of reminded me of like what you'd see out of like old history books from like 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 Southeast Asian, Middle Eastern, like Buddhist, like monks, like that type of like ancient, like or Japanese structures, like those type of things. Like that's kind of what like Jeddah reminded me of.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. I love the like religious aspect to this particular planet. Yeah, another desert planet. Okay, we've seen 800 of them. However, it was nice to see like, oh, kyber crystal discussion, like I think they talked about lightsabers at one point, and then now we
They mentioned the
know,
wills.
yeah, Guardian of the Wills.
And
Now we
when
know
they were
like what
flying,
power.
yeah,
Go, Chris.
when they were flying in, the establishing shots, many of them just show like these ancient statues of actual Jedi Knights, just like half covered in the sand. Like you could see the history of this planet, and they even mentioned it in the High Republic. They said like, you know, 200 years ago, oh, there was this huge battle in Jeddah and all this stuff. So I'm looking forward to Phase 2 in High Republic, learn more about what the hell happened. But yeah, you could tell there's a lot going on here.
Interesting. You know in the High Republic books, like you're gonna see those statues not like covered up, probably.
Yeah.
Like you know they'll have that type of connectivity in there.
Now this is fun because we get to actually see like the rebellion, like these partisans as like guerrilla warfare. It's just like what happens. Like this is something like out of Star Wars Battlefront, the video game. You know, just like having shootouts in the street.
Well, this is the Saw Gerrera way of doing battle,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's right.
and I think this is why leadership in the rebellion was like, hey, he's too much.
Yeah, because they're like
Well,
all these innocent people are like, as we see this little girl like caught in a crossfire. They think they're doing good, but like they're making themselves look like terrorists, kind of, you know?
See, I did not like that shot because that's a typical Hollywood shot of putting a screaming little kid in the middle of a battle. Come on.
Yep.
In real life, that kid's like running out, or she's not even there. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought that was like kind of a little jarring too because I just kind of rolled my eyes. It's like, oh, screaming kid. It's like screaming kid in a theater, like screaming kid in the middle of battle. Like we've seen that 10 million times before. It's just stereotype.
I like how they're just running around going Kyber, 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 and you see more off just
Yep.
running in the background there.
Do they say like the worth of the kyber crystals? I know they're used for like a whole bunch of stuff, but
Well, it's
They
used
talk-
partially for the Death Star, correct? Like the crystal
yeah, but I'm
itself.
saying, do they talk
Yeah.
about like what it's worth to like normal folks?
No.
Okay.
Speaking of Kyber, like, gosh, I remember when I was a kid, I had a build your own lightsaber kit, and it was great because it actually came with like came with like 6 different Kyber crystals, like
Oh,
green,
what?
Okay,
like a
Jenner.
cool
So
thing, you know, you could throw
Damn.
into your lightsaber.
nice. Okay, K2, you're
I re-
trying
I-
to be funny.
Yeah, I really like Jin in this movie too.
She's fierce, man.
Yeah, no, she's good, and like this is where like all those weirdo people out there be like, oh, people who don't like Rey or like, oh, you hate women in Star Wars. I'm like, no, that's stupid. I'm like, everyone loves Jyn Erso, everyone loves Ahsoka, everyone loves Leia. Like, miss me with that. It's just the fact that that particular character wasn't the greatest. However, Jyn Erso, she earns her spot in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I was kind of laughing to myself because I still can't stop thinking of our discussion a few months ago, Milton, when you brought it up, and I was like, man, all the Star Wars women are like brunettes or brown
Yeah.
haired women.
It's the truth. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
the only redhead that's nice is Mary Jade, but they're not going to put her in a canon yet, which is trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny to think about.
Like, literally, like, what lead Star Wars female is different? when it comes to
None.
the way they
Just
look.
get
Not
None.
even
Juno
Mon
Clips in
Mothma.
there. She's got blonde hair and is a pretty cool character.
Who?
Juno Clips,
No,
she's like
I'm
the
talking about like canon
oh,
characters.
Like live action.
Yeah, live action
there isn't
canon
any.
characters. Like, there isn't any. Like there's a lot of female characters that are now this part's gonna be fire in a minute. There's a lot of female
Right.
characters that are dope that aren't non-white or blonde hair, blue eyes, whatever, but it's not in live action. And then what's Donnie Yen's character's name again? I forget.
Cheered way.
He's badass. I love this
Oh,
part.
I
Oh,
love him.
I love how they had the insets on his eyes, like the close-ups on his eyes. You
Yeah.
could tell like he's force sensitive because they amplify the sound of the sand of the crunching under the boots. And oh my gosh, the fact that he's using the other guy as a shield. Oh
Mhm.
man.
See, part of me feel like he was a Jedi at first. I'm like, oh, maybe
Yeah.
he's a Jedi, because maybe they're like spinning off of like Ram Coda from Force Unleashed.
See, that's
I always
what I
thought
was
that
thinking when I
Kanan
first saw
Jarrus
this.
is more like Ram Koda, but yeah.
Mm. Right.
Now, Chris, is there any like background maybe that our viewers or listeners should know of Chirrut, like anything in canon?
We do
or is
have
this just basically his main appearance?
We do have a middle grade novel called Guardians of the Wills, which in retrospect takes place probably just a mere couple weeks before all these events happen.
Oh,
So we don't really like have a lot to go off of, just because it's also just a middle grade novel.
yeah.
It's a fun read, but I don't remember much from it, if I'm being honest. They're like in Jeddah City, and that's when Saul Guerrero first like lands and has his partisans acting crazy, and he's like reacting to like, why are they doing this sort of thing. And
Right.
they end up teaming up at one
Gotcha.
point, but yeah.
Interesting. They should bring him back at some point to do something, because I feel like, I mean, Donnie Yen is such a great actor. Like, he would be great to come back, for something maybe in the Andor series or something along those lines.
Yeah, he's legit. I mean, I think Donnie Yen was a great casting choice. I mean, I feel like this whole cast was well cast. I mean, they all play a good role, and they all,
Yeah.
bring something to this particular movie. Like that, they do it well.
One of the best lines from the movie. Are you kidding me? I'm blind.
Yeah.
As the bag goes over his face. Like, come on, this is some
I
great
love
lines.
these shots of the Star Destroyers over
Yep.
this planet. Like, they show the scale of it, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's bigger than a freaking landmass, like a mountain. Like, that's how big they are.
All right.
Like, it's,
Like,
oh,
could you
man.
and honest to God, like if Star Wars was in quote unquote the real world, that's what it would look like over like one of our American cities. Like what it looked like, have a Star Destroyer over the city of Chicago or somewhere
Or
in
New
Jersey,
York, or
New York, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. Like that'd be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this part, when it comes to this part of the movie, it starts to slow down slightly. I think they're obviously setting up the long-awaited what's the word I want to use? Like reunification between Jen and what's his name?
Yeah,
Forrest
Guerrero.
Whitaker's characters. Yeah, Saul Guerrero, and it's like
Saul.
Okay.
Yeah, Saul. My bad.
yeah, Saul. No, it's okay. And like I love how she's like, I don't want nothing to do with you, pretty much. Like you left me like to fend for myself.
I love these kind of shots, because these are the shots I love looking at in the visual dictionary of these movies, where it's like, you have this alien species, and you have this other one, and you have this character that's connected, like, the one character is, like, Bib Fortuna's cousin or something like that. It's like, that's why I love these alien shots, like you would have if it was, like, going to the cantina shot. Like, that's our cantina shot in this
Alright.
movie.
How do you guys feel about that Force prayer? Like, the Force is with me, and I'm one with the Force. What were your thoughts on that?
It's so cool, because since they've introduced I am one with the Force is many, like, so many Jedi in other, like, mediums and other things have used it. Like, it's all over the High Republic. Like, Luke Skywalker actually says it in that excerpt that I was reading you guys or telling you guys about from Shadows of the Sith
Yep.
last week. Like, Luke actually says that. So it's it's pretty cool. Again, like they're retrospect able to add this stuff to the canon, but it is a pretty powerful message when you think about it, because a
Mhm.
Jedi is supposed to be part of the living force, and through that is part of the cosmic force. So
Right.
I'm one with the force is with me because that's how they
I
channel their power.
Mhm.
Yeah, see, I think also another part of that, I really like it, for starters, Milton, but I really think a good part of them saying that, I think it humanizes the Jedi more, or the Force users more, to like us as an audience, because it also reflects like, hey, they are also potentially scared about the moment they're in, like, or nervous about the moment they're in. Like Luke in the excerpt, for example, he was surrounded by all these like Sith ghost guys holding lightsabers, like, and he was saying that. So like, that sort of thing, like it kind of humanizes the Jedi a little more versus just showing them as pretty much pure like gods.
Hmm. No, that makes sense to me.
Yes, like they're humbling themselves, like they are vessels
Yeah.
of the force. They're not using it like it's a knife or something. I mean, they're using it in defense, So
Mhm.
I want to call out. I'm gonna switch subjects here and call out just the fact of the appearance of Saw Gerrera and how it almost kind of foreshadows what Anakin went through in the transformation of Anakin Skywalker, and about how he was so obsessed with like war and everything else that Saw Gerrera is kind of like a symbolism of that. Like this guy spent 20 years of his life just fighting nonstop, and this is what happened to him. He eventually became almost more machine than man at this point.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean that's this could be like the parallel of Vader. When it's Anakin and Saw Gerrera. I but think the difference is, in my opinion, is that Saw, like his brain was mentally, he was just done mentally too. I think at this point, like he just was. You can clearly see it, like just how he was not the Saw Gerrera that we knew back in like Clone Wars.
Yeah.
He became a warmonger.
Oh yeah, like I think it was definitely an interesting translation for his character. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I don't like this character much at all in this movie, but I think his translation from animated to live action was interesting. As you alluded to, Chris, like it just shows like how much war grows on somebody. Like if you compare him from this to his first appearances in Clone Wars, like there's definitely a big difference in the character. So yeah, like his overall arc, I think was done whether I like the character or not, I think the overall arc for the character was done really well, showing the progression from where he was to what he eventually, basically, war turned him into.
Man, I can't get over Tarkin. Like he looks so good in this movie.
See, and that's one thing to bring up for you guys. Like, don't get me wrong, everyone can have their opinions, but it just drove me crazy. Like around this time, like hearing people say, "Oh, it's just like a video game cutscene with Tarkin," blah blah blah. But I'm like, I think it looks great. Like, I really do.
I think
I
what
mean,
really sells it. Go ahead, Ben or Milton.
no, I was going to say it looks like they improved it since the release. It's been significant. Like they've made touches on that face. But yeah,
I'm
go
not
ahead, Chris.
sure,
You don't
but
think
what
so?
I
I,
was gonna
I, I think I think I think it got better. I mean, I think they
Oh
had to
yeah,
go in
I
and repurpose some of it.
yeah, I
what
just
I
paused it. It definitely. I think they touched it up.
well, I think the reason why it looks so good is because the framing of the actual interior that they're in, there's a lot of shadows on his face. I
Oh,
mean,
without question, you're
if
not
you're in a
wrong.
darkened area, it's a lot easier to sell than if he's like in the broad daylight.
Oh, you absolutely. I mean, go. I mean, think about the next movie that's coming up is New Hope. He's lit a lot, like not lit as in drunk, but like lit as in like lighting. Um, he like yeah.
Can you
Lit
Well, I
imagine
mean,
a
driving the Death
Grand Moff
Star.
Tarkin
well,
as drunk?
he could have been drinking at some point. You never know. But I mean, saying like he's well lit, so you clearly see like the old man blemishes on his
Yeah.
face, and they try to do that here, but they have to purposely use some movie magic, and use a lighting to make it. Hey, let's hide the blemishes. However, we know that he'll be seen differently, slightly. I mean, I guess significantly different in the next movie, but he still looks the same. I like how they kept the graphics like the 1977 graphics.
Yep.
Yep.
Now this is a pretty emotional scene. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like obviously with the sound on, like this makes you feel like getting your feels.
Yeah, this is one of the best scenes in Star Wars. Like acting, and gravitas and emotion.
Hmm. Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, even though we're supposed to, have a commentary, it's kind of hard to not watch the scene, even with the sound off, and not get sucked in.
Oh, for
Yeah, it
sure. Because I
just
mean, I don't know about you guys, but like, I could watch a Star Wars movie and know every line and sound and stuff if it was muted, or I could do it in reverse and just listen to it and still know exactly what's going on.
Hmm.
Like,
I think what sells a scene is the reactions, right? You're seeing just Jin not saying a word, but you can empathize what she's feeling with just her facial reaction, and you're seeing Saul Guerrero just like looking over, just like damn, they build this up.
oh, Felicity's acting was great. I think her acting in this movie was one of the better performances, just in general, um, like in a lot of the Star Wars movies, honestly.
Mads Mikkelsen is so good in this movie too, man. The way he's delivering this monologue.
Yep.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
he
definitely.
kills it. He kills it. I mean, it's just. I mean, you can see it on her face.
Gosh, I still was partially saying to myself in the theater, man, that's the James Bond villain.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get his brother as Thrawn probably in live action.
Yep.
Uh,
Oh,
So crazy.
yeah, that's coming for Rosario Dawson. So, uh,
this is crazy.
Wow.
Mm. I
I
mean,
just
so.
really like the visuals of this movie. I think the visuals are just so dang good.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
I
Milton,
love the I
continue.
love. Yeah, but see, I love the line at one point when Tarkin, or I think Tarkin or Krennic was like, "Should we just blow up the whole planet?" He's like, "No, we just need a manifesto." Whatever it is. It was a dope line because he's like, "We're just trying to prove a point. We're not trying to like destroy the whole damn planet."
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
in the Star Wars comics, Luke Skywalker goes back to Jedi and it's like a complete like hellscape. Like there's just like
Hmm.
lava and everything else because they didn't use all the chambers of the Death Star. It was like a test fire.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, I just love how they says, "Listen, we're not trying to wipe it out, but we want people to know like we have the capability." And
Yeah.
Saul Guerrero could have actually gone with him. He needs to stop playing around. Like he was being a stupid like jerk.
Yeah. I wish say what I want about Saw Gerrera. I wish he would have went with him. I think it would have made the final battle even better. The
Mm.
final beach battle on the base. I can't think of the planet, but the final battle would have been a lot better with Saw Gerrera, I think.
I
I
agree.
mean, I don't know what he would have done. He was barely able to walk.
I just something.
Oh, let me know. And him, he probably would have tried to be in the fight. He would have done something.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Chris. And then interesting point you made about Luke going to Jeddah, like with lava and stuff. That just shows how powerful the Death Star blast is. Like it can cut through potentially miles and miles of like crust on the planet.
Yep. Damn.
I feel bad for the Borg gullet. He's gonna get killed.
Yeah, I'm happy for it.
Eh,
uh,
that's a hell of a shot right there. That's insane.
Wow.
That's crazy. I couldn't even. Oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine. I'd be scared.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'd be peeing my pants. Honest to God, like, I'd be like, I can't move.
oh well, yeah, we would all be probably done. We'd be doing our last Outer Rim transmission.
You ain't lying.
Well, guys, time to go live. Death Star blast coming at us.
Yeah, like I said, the whole visuals and cinematography was well done. I mean, this is some of the best Star Wars filmmaking in a long time. And there you go, your boy just taking the L. I don't know why. Yeah,
it is crazy to think about too. Like with the Death Star, like just like the scale of it. Like think about that. Like looking up into our night sky, like at the moon, and think of that as like a space station ready just to like blast our planet. Like it's just crazy to think about the scale of it compared to a planet.
That's what I like so much about that one ignition shot when it shot the planet at nighttime. You can see the Death Star. It's eclipsing the freaking moon. Like that's how big it is. It looks like it's an eclipse, but it's the Death Star in front of the moon.
Yeah, this is a dope shot.
Wow. I mean, just
yeah, that's insane. Yeah.
I love the audio direction.
Just look how I was getting out to the atmosphere. Like that's insane.
Wow. Silence.
Like, yep, that's my baby. I believe I owe you an apology, Director Krennic. British accent.
So good.
See Krennic being a weasel. See, I think that shot of Tarkin like looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, I really do think they touched him up like significantly, like since the release of the film. He looks so much better. Like he wasn't. I mean, he had his issues at first, but that looks like a human like being.
Yeah, or is it because we got used to Luke Skywalker CGI? Maybe we're more forgiving. I don't know.
Maybe,
it looks
but like,
great though.
Yeah, but think about though. I mean, season 2 or season 1 Boba Fett, like he looked better in that particular episode compared to his first appearance. Like we all thought he looked better. I think the technology has caught up so much where they can go back and touch up on this stuff in these films. Yeah. Now, like I said, it's amazing what the technology's come. I mean, honestly, I would love for them to do just to give me a full Luke Skywalker series at this point. Let's go.
Yeah, we need that one. Like that could be like a freaking 8-hour podcast for us to talk about.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like literally, like side note, like they could easily, I mean, how many crappy shows do you see carrying on for 5 or 6 seasons? They could easily have a 5 or 6 season. I mean, heck, Arrow and The Flash were on 8 or 9 seasons. Like we could easily just give us a 5 to 6 season, 8 episode per season Luke series between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, and just build out his character to the max. Like just go crazy with it.
I love even the old school detail of just like the comm station with the headphones and all that.
Oh yeah, those little details I feel like are what really makes this movie.
Well, I mean, think about it too. These guys are using technology that's probably obsolete compared to the Empire.
Oh, very true. Yeah. So
now
currently, we are at 54 minutes. Yeah, we are currently at 54 minutes aboard the U-Wing on their way to Edu.
So I think this is a strong part of the film. They're talking in the ship. Obviously, she's very much about her father's message and the Death Star, but I think I like the camaraderie that they all share. Even though it's a very tense moment, you can definitely tell like there's good chemistry with these with this cast.
Oh, for sure. Like they nailed it on like the chemistry between the actors, the lines. I believe was it Kasdan that helped write this movie? Or was that
Lawrence,
Solo?
he did Rogue. No, he did Solo and Force Awakens.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was thinking
Yeah.
of Solo.
All right. Well,
But
I think was it Tony Gilroy came in and shot some stuff and yeah.
yeah, Gilroy did like the final 20-ish, 20, 30 minutes of this movie from what it sounded like. Yeah, like he came in and took over basically the final part of this movie. Which I mean, hey, I mean I can't complain. Like don't get me wrong, it's I am iffy on like Lucasfilm's strong arming Gareth Edwards because like there was definitely things out there like and it was from Gareth Edwards himself. Like after this movie, he talked about like having to play ball, and like the term play ball basically means you listen to us or you get fired. So like it was kind of weird in that regard because it was like okay, like you know you're strong arming your director into letting another director come in and mess with your movie. But to me, hey, at the end of the day, at least the movie turned out the way it did because Gilroy nailed the final 15, 20 minutes.
All right. This scene.
This is
ahead,
cool
Chris.
how they retcon, well not retcon, but they enhanced A New Hope by having the reason of an exhaust port. Like what is the point of this little 6-meter long thing to destroy the giant weapon of the Death Star, right? That's the whole crux of the story.
Well, they did a good job at doing it. I liked it.
It was all an inside job. I mean, it makes sense that not everybody would agree to like what the Empire was making. A lot of these people are forced to work for the Empire. They have no other place to work or are literally forced, you know? So again,
Yeah.
adding more layers to factions and things we assumed we knew about.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, even thinking about it from that angle, like, you know, heck, you probably have people that just signed up for kind of the quote unquote army for the Empire, like thinking they were just like the good guys and they didn't expect it to turn out this way. And then they got in and were like, oh man, this is not the army I signed up for.
Oh yeah, and I mean think about it too. Though. A lot of these rebellion officers probably had a family, friends, just a lot of nepotism throughout, the Empire. And again, they needed bodies because they were done with clones.
Yep.
Now we get more of this wartime feel with the rain, the mud, the dirt. Like I like this.
Yeah, it's just like Black Ops now. They're sneaking around.
Yeah. Exactly. Now I never understood this part sometimes. Like whenever not Baze, Chirrut, he asked like, does he look like a killer or whatever? I never understood that. Is that him just using the Force? Like, what is that all about? You remember that line?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
See, I think
feeling, I guess.
I think he just had a weird feeling about him. You know, it's like that gut instinct. Like, sure, he has the Force, but I feel like at this point he's probably trusted Baze's judgment on, up to this point, pretty much being like kind of his guardian type person with him. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that maybe combined with his like Force intuition is kind of like, him trying to judge out like, hey, is this guy actually a good guy or not a good guy?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I was gonna say real quick. So my cousin actually got a full like Jeddah Lego set that came with it, and he has like Chirrut and Baze and like this Rogue One crew and stuff. And he sent me a Snapchat of it a few days ago, and I was like, "What the heck? That's awesome."
That's impressive.
We have Alex Elkins in a chat saying Rogue One is the greatest Star Wars movie ever. Will never convince me different. Damn.
Well, hold on. I'll tell him. I'm still not a fan of Saw Gerrera, man, and no one will ever change my mind on that.
There you go. I know it's up there with a lot of people. I mean, for me, it's
Yep.
definitely in the top 5, I would say.
Oh yeah, I mean this movie, this movie's so good. And, like
Yeah.
I never get bored with it. Like I'm not even kidding. Like this is one of the movies where if it's on TV, if it's on regular cable, I'll stop and watch it for a little bit. You know.
Yeah, to me, this is like in the 4 and 5 range. It's definitely top 5 for me. It's just not number one.
Mhm. But like I mean, I just love the vibe of this film. I mean, it was something different, but yet something we were familiar with, and it's a story that needed to be told. I've always felt like you could have tied in. I think I might have mentioned it before in a previous podcast, but this story could have been like part 3 of like the Force Unleashed like trilogy. Like if you really wanted to
Oh,
like if you really wanted to bring in like Galen Earth or not Galen Earth, so Galen Merrick, Star Killer, he could have been part of this story, you know, in some way, shape, or form. Or
Oh yeah.
keep this as his own movie and make part 3 of Force Unleashed 3 lead into Rogue One. You know?
hmm.
Oh
Again,
yeah.
I'm just that's my headcanon. That's why I put it that way.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could definitely tie it in that way. Fun little thing too with this movie. I know like a big buzz going into it was it's great like seeing people how like things extrapolate and then seeing like the final product, like how it's different. But I know with like all the leaks surrounding this movie and the way the Rogue One crew looks like Jin and Chirrut and Baze and all them, um, it was like heavily rumored that Rogue One was going to actually be bounty hunters stealing the Death Star plans for the rebellion. And then it turned out to actually be just rebellion troopers. Well, rebellion affiliates, I guess.
Affiliates, yeah.
I remember that rumor. I remember that rumor. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, did they say this was going to be like the Dirty Dozen or something like that, right? Is that the
Something
comparison?
Yep.
like that. Yeah. Yeah, something to that nature. But yeah, I'm yeah, I like this part of the movie. Again, like I mentioned, I love the grittiness. I feel like Krennic, they pretty much established Krennic as just a heartless like jerk. Like he's like he comes off as very arrogant, but somewhat caring, but he's not. Like he's very selfish, and he's very
Oh,
impatient. You can definitely see that.
yeah. I think Krennic was done really well.
Mm.
Like him and Jin are my two favorite characters. I would say from this movie. Like Jin, Felicity does a really good job on her acting, and Mendelsohn does a really good job on his. I just think he nailed it. Like he really did. Like he nailed it as like an up and coming Imperial officer just trying to like make his way in the Empire.
Without question.
That's just how the Empire acts. I mean, you see it all the time in different various stories, on
Yep.
screen and not on screen. It's just they're all trying to one up each other. They're all trying to just get past any boundary they can to get to success. So they're
Mm.
stereotypical kind of character in the Empire, but he's got a lot of personality.
Ready, aim. That accent kills me every time.
So great.
Yep.
Hey, at least it's a change up from British actors.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Like first of all, I love a cape. I will rep a cape anytime. But
Yep.
on a rainy ass planet, come on, man. Like take that cape off.
Yeah, but is it kind of what is it one of those capes though? Maybe like kind of like Batman's where it kind of just maybe beads off of it
I think
or
that's what
something.
it's doing.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
It looks like he's got like a giant windbreaker on.
Hmm.
that
I'm about
is
to say the same
true.
thing. Now I forget why do they want Cassian to kill Galen Erso? I forget that particular reason.
Did they establish?
He says it. He says it to him when he's leaving to come to the planet, but he doesn't say like why. If I don't,
Oh,
I
I think
don't remember. Is it?
I, it's because I bet you they don't want him to squeal like what the weakness is in the Death Star.
But the
Maybe.
rebellion doesn't want him to wheel or to squeal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, because think about it, like the rebellion knows there's a weakness now, but the Empire doesn't. So if they take him out, Krennic can't basically interrogate him and say why were they trying to get you, you
Okay.
know, and then they would guard the weakness. I guess that is kind of like a weaker point. They didn't really emphasize that like really well.
I know he gets the orders to take him out. I'm thinking, and I thought they might have mentioned like because he could build another one or something. I can't remember something. Yeah, you're right. I don't think they really established it that well. I think they just referenced it. Father. Yeah, Captain. Now I do like this scene coming up with the whole rebellion with the squadrons popping up. It was dope. Like I
Oh,
thought, yeah, like that. Those ships look so good flying through those caverns.
this reminds me of like a mission from like the old Rogue
Yes,
Squadron games.
yes. This is
Because
very much
during
a video game look.
this is basically we're in this era of Star Wars, Force Awakens, Rogue One. This is the first time we're seeing like in atmosphere dogfights and stuff with the fighters. Up until now, it's all been in space only.
Hmm.
It's so cool just seeing the chaos of these fighters coming in and laying fire and explosions everywhere.
Father. Middle of a battle, screaming your dad's name. Come on,
Yeah,
you're asking to get shot.
Yeah, just draw attention to yourself.
love the shot of the TIE fighters
Yep.
dropping out of the hangar.
So I wonder what happened. Like speaking like Tie Fighters and Imperials, but what happened to the Death Troopers? Like after this movie,
After what?
what happens to the Death Troopers after this particular film? Like what have is there a comic or a
Oh, they're
book
all
that
around
reference?
still. Yep, yeah.
Okay.
And in the current Darth Vader series, Darth Vader after Empire Strikes Back, he's got like a squad of Death Troopers that occasionally goes with him on security.
Okay. Yeah.
So can we assume the Death Troopers are early version Dark Troopers?
Uh,
I don't know.
I'm not
I have no idea.
certain.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to like. I don't know.
I'm not
It's
sure.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure because I don't remember reading or seeing anything in canon about them like being like such a,
Transitioning to it.
yeah.
I feel like
That's
in
true.
canon, they're just making them just droids only.
Oh yeah, I guess they would be droids only because I mean, I'm assuming that's why they let Luke kind of slaughter all the Dark Troopers.
Because remember, we in Bad Batch, we see like a proto Death Trooper or a Dark
True.
Trooper.
Well, that I just don't think like just the way things are, like with live action, they weren't going to let Luke do what he did to the Death Troopers and Mando if they were actual just people. Like we wouldn't have seen Luke crush a normal person like he did at the end of the Death Trooper scene. Like, so yeah, that makes sense.
This was a good scene. I enjoyed this like whole the father and daughter reuniting, but then being very tragic.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars is always about parents and their kids.
You couldn't take my man with you. Like, see, why you gonna leave him there? Papa.
This music is so stirring right here. I love this music right here.
I mean, yeah, the music itself is a character in this movie, and it fits it well.
Oh, it's just so hard, because she's her father's dead and she can't like have the time to really say her goodbyes because they're getting shot at. It's just like
Hmm.
this moment is stolen from her. It's just like, oh, it's so terrible.
Well, yeah, I mean, and they do a good job at showing that. It's amazing. Yeah, it's a very emotional scene that's very much like still chaotic. They do a good job at letting the audience know like you need like this is some shit's going down and it's going to get even worse.
Oh yeah, like this is just really building the, it's not final stakes to the movie, but it's like pushing us forward toward the back half of the movie. Like now,
Mhm.
things are getting in more in motion.
Right, right. I mean, this what would be what maybe mid act two, towards the end of
Yeah,
act two, yeah. Because now you got the conflict that's going to be built up between Jen and Cassian.
exactly. You got these different dynamics, these interpersonal relationships now starting to form and causing a little bit of a dynamic.
See, I don't
Oh
understand
wow.
how this what.
Oh, oh, continue, Milton, with your point first.
No, I was supposed to say I don't see how she understood, like how she knew he lied. I felt like that was not very well explained, but yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say I just got I just got fact checked by one of our viewers here. He texted me. Um, so Alex, our chatter in the chat, he mentioned I forgot about it completely. The Dark Troopers or the Death Troopers were also in the end of Mando season 1 when they pull up and have everybody held up at the end. And I
Oh,
forgot about that.
wow.
Completely forgot about that.
Forgot
I
about
forgot.
that.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's a good pull.
That's the furthest into any of the Star Wars canon, then, because that's like 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
I want to see flashbacks of him as 6 years old in the Clone Wars, like with his parents, because we know novelization, which is a really good novelization. By the way, everybody watching and listening, read the Rogue One novelization if you're a fan of Rogue One, because it really sheds a lot more light, because it actually goes more into the mindset of Cassian. It explains how his parents were actually separatists. So
Yep.
I would love to see like him as a little kid, like on a street with like a shootout going between like the Republic and the Separatists. That'd be so sick.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that line in particular just says like, okay, this guy's been through war clearly, and he's not about just as being a quote unquote something to do. This is a lifestyle.
Oh yeah. Just think we're
Here
gonna be
we
getting 12 episodes of him.
We're gonna see a lot more of this planet, I would
Hmm.
assume, next month. Mustafa.
Oh yeah, this.
Well, did you notice
Gosh,
they didn't label it either? They just said, hey, like people should know what this is.
Yeah,
yeah.
the
I mean.
excitement
Oh
seeing
yeah,
this
go on,
thing in
Chris.
the theater was like, oh my god, are they going here? Are they really doing this?
Oh yeah, because we get spooky Alfred here.
Good old Vinay.
Yep. I love that he was in the Lego special, by the way.
Yeah, he's popped up there in the comic books.
My one cousin actually has his figure, by the way.
He has a figure.
Yeah, he has a figure because he had this like a Rogue One set, like it was like Vader in a back to tank with Benet and like just that little setup basically.
Like a Lego?
Like a plastic figure.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, like
But like
I don't know what do you call like the figures that like we grew up on, like the eight, like however
like
many
a
three and
three and
quarter
three
inches
quarter
figures.
inch?
Yeah, it was something like that. Like he has
Oh.
that. Yeah, he has Benet with a back to tank and Vader. Yeah, I feel like we're gonna definitely be seeing some Mustafar.
Yeah, next month. It's crazy.
I love this scene.
Yeah.
Vader's a badass.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, Vader's amazing. Like I can say at first, I actually had to sell myself on this scene after seeing this a couple times, just because like I wasn't sure on Vader's joke
Mm.
because it was like, do we need Darth Vader joking? But then again, I thought about it and I was like, well, I guess it fits Anakin's character, and I guess this is still Anakin uh, underneath everything, and then on top of it, he still does say like in Empire or Return of the Jedi, like apology accepted, Captain Data, after he like choked him and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he's done that sort of thing before.
yeah, so it's consistent. So yeah, I sold myself on it, but first viewing, I was just kind of rolling my eyes, like, oh man.
No, like I said, I just love how he doesn't play around, dude. And all of a sudden, the whole yeah, you're right, choking your aspirations. He's like, okay, this guy, he clearly doesn't understand me. He's not listening. He's all about his ambitions. Like he's ridiculous.
Also, it's great too, like from Krennic's perspective. I do like that they showed, I mean, how courageous and bold Krennic is to like knowingly just walk in there basically demanding to Darth Vader, like, this guy up to this point's murdered how many people? Like, it definitely takes some guts to go do that.
Yeah, would it be a Star Wars movie without a big council type scene? And so here we go. Bail Organa, all those people. Dodonna, Draven.
It was great they made Dodonna look almost identical
I
to the way he
know.
looked in, like identical, like for him being an older guy.
Okay, so Steven Stanton plays the role of that Mon Calamari character, Admiral Radis.
Oh, where he goes, "We're gonna fight," or whatever. Now Stanton played Tarkin in the animated shows, though, right?
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay. Well, because I mean, the main reason I brought up Steven Stanton to begin with was, I mean, I knew he played Tarkin. I just and I remember just because around that time period, like he was interacting with me like quite a bit, like on my Twitter, like just back and forth, like tweeting back and forth with me about the Rebel stuff. So
Oh.
that's why I just brought that up. Just because I was like, I don't remember if he was Tarkin in live action or not, but was talking with him.
There you go, rebellions are built on hope. Tagline. I say we fight.
Speaking of
Okay.
lines, I'm so glad they cut out that line of her saying "I rebel."
Yeah, that was trash.
That was really cringe.
Yeah, I will say that line was kind of trash.
It's the rebellion, isn't it? I rebel.
Oh man.
So is this where we would say Tony Gilroy stepped in? Because where we at this point? What 120?
From what I heard, anyways, it sounded like he only did like literally the final like 20-25 minutes of the movie. Like we're still like he basically corrected base. Once they go to what's the planet where the base is at?
Scarif.
Scarif. Basically, from Scarif to the end of the movie is where they corrected it. Like the final like 25-ish minutes or so.
Yeah, now it was cool to see this scene. I thought the scene stood out. Again, like it's crazy how fast this movie does move.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just watched what's his name die? Saw Gerrera die. I felt like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, and look, we only have 55 minutes left or
That's
so.
what I'm saying. Like it's such a quick moving film. Like that's why I didn't like. That's why I didn't think this movie was bad because it moved well and it told the story it needed to tell.
Well, you didn't stay in one scene for too long.
Yeah, pacing is great.
Yeah. Now what we get a quick shot of our favorite droids coming up soon. Spoiler.
Yep.
And I think we
But
also get the. Do we get the Syndulla reference here?
it was already on there because I have subtitles. I
Okay,
seen it.
Yep.
gotcha.
Well, and we already missed. Wasn't in the prior scene. Didn't Chopper roll by?
No,
Or is that later?
that's later on when they first get to Scarif. I think
Okay.
they call in the fleet.
Oh yeah.
Wait. Chopper's in this?
Yeah, Chopper's in this. 100% he's in this.
Where? I don't remember this.
He rolls right in front of the camera, like it's like
Yep.
like you see it. It's right in front of your eyes. Like it's not hidden at all.
This is a pretty good set, though. I mean, you look at all these actors and everything else going on in the background. Big set.
Yeah, I like this. He's like, don't they say like make him feel like 100 or something, or make 10 men feel like 100? That was a good line.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And then I will say now, Ben, I want to know your thoughts on this. The whole like how they got Rogue One. How do you feel about this scene when they talk about it? Does that make sense to you? Like, do you remember that? They're like, "Oh, what's your call sign?"
Or the name of the movie.
Yeah. Like, how do you feel about it?
Oh, for naming them, like the crew that. Yeah,
Yes.
I thought it was fine. Also, it's just kind of one of those I don't know, almost meta things like hey, Rogue One, that's the name of the movie. It's also the name of the crew type deal.
Right.
Like I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on it. I think it's okay. It's just to me, it's kind of not shoehorned, but I guess it's kind of shoehorned in. Then again, I guess to counter my own critique of it, I guess a rebellion is kind of like rogue. So like the first ship like going to rebel or whatever. I don't know. So I guess it would be Rogue One, but
Right.
I don't know. It's
I mean,
kind of iffy.
Now this scene, this is the best scene in the movie, besides the Star or Vader thing, because I mean, they just say your friend in the desert, and I was flipping
Yep.
out. I'm like Kenobi.
Oh yeah, I about jumped out of my seat. I was like, Obi-Wan. Like,
Yeah,
even though
I
we're
know.
not going to see him, I want to see him.
Yeah, but it's so tragic too because we know Bail's going to, bite the bucket. Spoilers.
Oh yeah, I know. It was great. Like somebody in our theater actually yelled out. They were like, "Don't go to Alderaan." Like said it verbally like loud, and the whole theater laughed. Man, just think we're for sure going to be seeing Jimmy Smits in the Kenobi show, I'm sure. So like I don't know. I feel like we're going to be getting a lot of him over the next like 2-3 years.
I love this particular part of the planet. What was it called? A space gate or something?
Shield
What was
gate.
it? Shield gate. Yeah. Dope.
That's
Because I wish
neat design.
I'm like I wish more planets had that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just neat because this is like the R&D location of the Empire. Like they're gonna have this under lock and key, and they have the entire planet with a shield. Like that's just damn.
Well, I mean, and like, because at first I was like, well, I'm like, that don't make any sense. Like, they can fly on the other side of the planet, but it's like, no, the entire planet's covered. You only can get through this one particular part when you unlock it. It was fire. I mean, it's smart thinking.
Gosh, that kind of reminds me of Spaceballs when they open up the planet to suck out all the air. uh, gosh.
Yeah, this is such a good like new thing to Star Wars.
I do believe
Oh,
that
yeah.
there is some version of this on Coruscant towards the end of the war. Because I think it's
Interesting.
mentioned in Alphabet Squadron when what's her name goes down there and follows the Admiral guy. I think so. Gotta look back at that.
I mean,
Well,
then
so
again, Milton, I guess if the only thing is with the shielding, like for planets, I'm sure that would be so expensive, like all around your whole planet.
for sure, but I think for something like this, I mean, it's necessary.
True.
Yeah, it's not a civilian planet, so it's not like they have to deal with too much traffic. Like they know exactly who's going in and out.
Well, it's the perfect planet for it too because it's on the beach. It's not like there's cities and
Yep.
multiple, buildings got to worry about. There's only one or two maybe hubs of people. So you're right. It's easy to control who's in and out and who's going to be where.
Yeah, this was the post that people wanted as a stormtrooper. Like, apparently to become a shore trooper, you had to be a decorated stormtrooper. But this was like, if you got a position on scare for any amount of time, it's like, it was basically like a vacation. You know, it's like, oh, I get to go to Scarif after all my hard work, kind of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll be cool with it.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, like you're going to be basically retired, like almost retired there, like because it's so easy going. Like you're not going to ever have enemies.
Right. Oh, now until today.
Yeah, until today.
Yeah, like I said, so this whole scene. Well, first of all, I like the design of this base. Scarif was actually well, I think, done. We've never seen a
Yeah.
beach planet. Um, we've had water planets, but a beach planet though, like I never could imagine like Star Wars having something like that.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is about Scarif. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe for the shooting for this movie, they actually had wherever they were shooting the beach location at when the stormtroopers
Maldives.
come out. Yeah, Maldives. Yeah, they had the Maldives like actual like army like servicemen actually played the stormtroopers on the beach in this sequence.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
I don't know. I just
that makes sense to me. Like, that's pretty dope.
yeah,
You
like
know,
I
it's
love when Star Wars incorporates like just real life, like letting real life people get into a movie like that, especially like servicemen and women. Like, hey, that's a cool thing to look back on. Like, holy smokes! When I was just at my post one day, like Star Wars production came and was like, hey, we're shooting here. You want to be in it?
Yep.
yeah. Again, I think the cinematography, like again, this movie doesn't get enough credit for its look. Like this feels very much like Star Wars, obviously, but the cinematography, everything's well lit, everything's well shot. I haven't seen one bad shot. Even the dark scenes, when I say dark, like the color, they look good.
Oh, this is one of the best shot Star Wars movies out of the entire saga, in my opinion.
Right.
Now, yeah, this is neat because like classic, A New Hope type, like getting into disguises to go and infiltrate, classic Star Wars.
Right. Good point. Yeah, but like I said, this guerrilla style warfare, this is what their rebellion's all about. Like they know they can't win, going up against them 1-on-1. Like that just doesn't make sense. So let's not cowardly attack, but let's be non-traditional in our attacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have to be. They don't have the numbers to be able to stand
Yeah.
like just head to head. They have to plan ahead and have different tactics.
Oh yeah, you have to go outside the norm. I mean, back in you look at, because I'm a weird history buff like that. Look at the old American Revolution, how it was very traditional in war. But then what did we have? We had our American militia that would do like these sneak attacks. Like you have to you gotta switch it up.
Well, look in some of the instances when you'd have the Americans fighting Native Americans. Like the Native Americans, there was a lot of guerrilla warfare, and like it threw off our armies just because it was so out of traditional warfare style.
Right.
Now, apparently, this area was filmed like in a subway in London.
Interesting.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, they went like they filmed there like overnight. They like shut down part of it and like basically filmed right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you say that now I was like staring at that scene just to, you know what I mean, like point out like does that look like a subway?
They always have those stormtroopers talking about those speeders.
Yeah. Well, do you know who's voicing them?
Yeah, Sam Witwer and David Collins.
Who was it?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Dave Collins and Sam Witwer. You're right. Because they said like I heard them talk about how they've done that for other stuff.
Uh huh.
I think some of the animated movies or shows. So yeah, it's pretty cool. See, these stormtroopers are trash, getting beat by a guy with a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, realistically, if I was the stormtroopers, I'd just stand back and shoot at him.
Dude, that suit looks crispy white. That's crazy.
Oh, I love like I think that's part of one of the reasons why I like Krennic so much too. Is like I think his suit looks so clean.
Oh, it's fresh, dude. Like I mean, like I'd probably want to join the Empire too. I get to wear cool outfits.
Oh yeah, if you could be like, hey, if I can get promoted to wear a white suit, I'll join.
Facts. Now I forget. What are they waiting for? Go ahead, Chris.
This is what makes Star Wars movies great, right? Is having all these different plans come together in the end. You got the space battle. You got the people sneaking around. You got the big war front going on outside. All serving a purpose. Like they're all going parallel to like helping each other, which is the cool part.
Oh yeah. Well, and like you said, you can finally see how like this is all piecing together to lead to the rebels' first victory.
Yeah, I mean they definitely like do what they need to do to get it done, and it's and what's nice is spoilers. People do die, but like they knew that was going to happen. They knew like, hey, like this is how we're going to win. We have to sacrifice people. Are you blind?
I love that. I love that part.
Yeah.
And they just stand there, literally disguises.
And that's the type of, to me, that's the type of Star Wars humor that's really good. Like, from other movies, like not to like dog on The Last Jedi, but like
trash.
You have the mother joke in the beginning between Poe and Hux, and it's like, do we need your mama jokes in Star Wars?
Yeah.
Like this type of joke with Krennic, that's a Star Wars joke, in my opinion.
Now the troopers in the sand or the brown tan, is that the sand troopers, right? Is that what they call them?
Shore troopers.
Or beach troopers?
Shore troopers.
Okay.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, and those were the Maldives veterans.
Yeah, Chris, I'm gonna keep saying it, dude. They touched up on him because he looks so much better. There's no way, like Chris, he looks so much better.
He looks
I,
good,
I
but
I really think they did touch up on him too, Chris. I really do. Just like looking at him.
I'm gonna
Okay,
have
there we
Because
go.
to
Off the check.
ask
because I
around.
forgot
Yep.
about I forgot to do the close up shots to his face, and it's like he looks more naturally older, like compared to what because the first time, like I said, it wasn't perfected, but I mean you can definitely tell unless I'm missing something. And they all look like they're from the 70s. I do like how they make these guys
Oh,
in the rebellion look like they're from the 70s. Like, I mean, with the mustache, the haircuts,
Yep.
I
we
like that consistency.
we just missed Chopper, man. I forgot to point him
Oh
out
yeah,
to
you
you.
just missed
Uh,
him.
He was right at that scene with Mon Mothma as they're running out of the base. You could see him.
hmm
We can
Old
actually hear him
Chopper.
too.
Yeah. Now, here's my question though. Do you guys think they should have had Wedge or Biggs or even your boy Porkins in his movie?
Not Wedge because he says like, look at the size of that thing. So like
Oh, that's
he
right.
would
That's
have.
right. He wouldn't have known. He wouldn't have known. You're right.
He wouldn't have known. Yeah.
How about Biggs or your boy Porkins?
I see. I was fine even without them being in it, just because I have always, even before this movie, I've always been a really big fan of Red Leader, like the main guy. Like I think he did. I think he did such a good job. Whoever the actor was that played him, I'm not sure, but he did
Yeah.
such a good job, like just playing that kind of like southern sounding pilot, like you'd imagine, you know?
Yeah, no, I like that he was in the movie, and I love how they got rid of Red 5 at one point. Like, they just killed him off so Luke can get a
Yep.
spot
Yeah.
later.
Well, one of the best parts about that too is like, that's old just archive footage from A New Hope.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's dope how they can just like, oh, we'll just tie it in. It looked good to me.
Well, the thing is, like they're explaining in official dictionaries, like they have a lot of rebel pilots, but they don't have a lot of rebel fighters. So it's like you can't have like all
Yeah.
your guys in on one battle because they just don't have enough fighters.
All right. Yeah, this scene's so dope. The music, dude, that starts building up when they're looking for the plans when you have to climb up is so good. Now this shot, I did not expect this. I think we got
This
this partly in the trailer, but not how it's scaled like this.
this reminds me of like Jurassic Park, like a T-Rex, like when they're all running through the
Yep.
freaking jungle. It's
Right.
like crushing the trees. This is
Super
so
dope.
cool. Oh man. Oh,
That's
here we
pretty tight.
go. Oh man, that's the money shot right there.
Oh yeah, it's so
Oh,
good.
it's so good.
The Admiral, Admiral Radis. Let's be real here. He's the MVP of this movie because he's like, we must
Gold
fight.
leader.
Gold leader, yeah.
Red
He's like, we
leader.
have to fight. It works, man.
Love it.
Yeah, he
God,
wasn't scared.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, this is when I become speechless because I just sit here and watch the movie because it's so good at this part.
Mhm. No, this is literally the last. What we are. This is the last 36 minutes of this film.
Yep.
Dude, this
Yep.
movie's fire, dude. Like I'm not even kidding. Like this is like they look so good flying these ships.
Oh man, I love the
Oh, yeah.
angles they're going up with the
Yeah.
X-wings, the visual
Right.
effects of them.
Close the field. Look how I just look how that's pretty cool. Doesn't one of them get killed here? I think because yeah.
Red 5 does.
Is this it right here?
Oh,
Okay. Look how
This
they get
movie's
this
so
tight
good.
shots of this. Yes, love it.
See,
What
you
does
can
that
know a
mean?
movie like this is like impactful because like after seeing the space battle, like I literally hopped on Battlefront and got into a space mission to
Yep.
like
Mm.
play around.
I'm hoping that some of these space battles in Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga are somewhat decent.
Mm.
Yeah.
They look pretty
Oh,
good
they're
from what I've
fun.
seen.
Yeah, I think they'll be fun.
I don't think there's any Rogue One in there, unfortunately, but that's okay.
See, I still think there's hope for it though, because from the first trailer, I mean that's a discussion for another time or whatever. But from the first trailer, if you watch the first Lego trailer, there is the Vader shot with the alarm from Rogue One, like the hallway scene with Vader standing in the hallway, like a
Yeah.
quick, like it's like a 1 second cut. So I think we're gonna get some type of Rogue One something in the Lego game.
Okay. You let me know how that game is, because I probably won't play it. Sorry. God, these walkers, dude. Oh, I can never get enough of these walkers.
Well, a lot of this on the ground feel too. It's just, this is the first time we really had a good on the ground moment with Star Wars, like with the walkers and
Yep.
everything since like Empire and Return of the Jedi. Like, I feel like our first big moment with walkers was in Empire, and then of course we got a little bit of it in Return of the Jedi with the ATSTs, but like seeing actual AT-ATs,
Wow.
like I think it's great.
Oh,
I just love how they're smiling and laughing in the heat of battle. It's like, yes, they finally got a win, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, dude,
Like the
freaking Empire's
adrenaline.
wrecking them.
This is the Rebels' first victory, major victory against the Empire here.
These guys are like, wait, what? We got to go out there? Yeah, he's like, I can't do this. Yeah, at this point, I mean, whoever's watching, listening, if we get sucked in, like, sorry, it's this is the best part of the movie.
Oh man.
Yeah, now fun so here's some fun facts for our viewers and stuff. So, keep this in mind. Like, so for this final, like these final sequences, the original pitched version of this was Vader was actually going to go down to Scarif Base and handle it himself. Like, and it was going to be basically like one of the writers from this movie was getting interviewed, and he said it was on the table. Like it was one of the final few scripts. It was basically Vader. It was going to be a reverse D-Day situation, basically where Vader was going to do a one-man D-Day thing, but of course, him being the bad guy, so it'd be like kind of a evil version of D-Day. But they switched that around just because they weren't sure how OP they wanted to make Vader, like just taking on everybody basically.
That makes sense. This music, I'm pretty sure this is like that. This music cue is pretty good. That's what I remember.
But we're looking at the space battles, and well, the next movie on the slate of Star Wars is the Rogue Squadron movie with Patty Jenkins directing. So, I mean, they have a lot to live up to. Now that we're watching this, it's like, holy crap! Like a movie that's called Rogue Squadron has to somehow up the space action in Rogue One. I don't know how that's going to be possible.
I agree.
And it's going to be all fighters, right? Like the whole movie's about fighter pilots. There's going to be probably 4 or 5 battles like what we're watching in that movie alone.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully there is.
You'd think so, anyways.
I swear they give a lot of love to the. Oh, there he is. Who's that? Is that a goal? Not goal leader. Is that goal leader?
Yeah.
With the Y wing. Okay, yeah.
So great.
That is the most amount of TIE fighters I've ever seen.
That's legit. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Empire at this point, like they really are coming with it. They just want to end these people, but it's, yeah. Can we just saying, let's keep giving love to that Admiral, Radis. By the way, just let you know, every time he's on screen, he's just like making an impact.
Oh, 100%. Like if he would have pushed this one of taken place.
Now, who's the guy with the who's that lead fighter on the beach? You know what I'm talking about? The guy with the blonde mustache?
Melshi, right? The guy that took his hat off?
I think so.
The guy who was just on the walkie?
Yeah. No. The guy he's down on the beach like in the ship as like the leader of like that team.
Oh, Bodhi Rook?
No, not Bodhi. He's got the mustache. He's a pilot. You know what I'm talking about? I forget his name.
Wait, the X-Wing fighter pilot?
I think so.
General Merrick?
That might be it.
Yeah, the
I
blue leader or whatever.
That's it. Yeah, I like him. Yeah, that's the guy right there.
Oh, those are the TIE
Now that
Strikers.
ship. Yeah, what is that ship? I forget.
TIE Striker.
Okay. Doesn't no, that's not what's the name develops. What
No,
does
Thrawn has the TIE Defender.
Defender? Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
the TIE Strikers are made specifically to fly better in atmosphere. Oh, that's a big deal. War Mantle, Black Saber, all the code names. So War Mantle was the Stormtrooper program from Bad Batch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Black Saber probably has something to do with Dark Saber, I would assume.
Yep.
And there was one other thing in there they mentioned that I haven't heard of since.
I wonder. Hey, maybe it has to do with Mandalore getting glassed over. The other one.
Oh.
Good job. I'll tell you what, man. I K2, he's a hero in this movie for sure.
Oh, K2 is great. It's Alan Tudyk, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Good old
I
Firefly.
thought so. Yep.
Oh, it's the first guy to go down.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Stay alive. Oh, he says climb. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, and this is where you really started thinking, oh man, they are actually going to start taking out our characters. Like they're not going to get a happy ending.
I really like the touch of the lights slowly going out in his eyes.
Yeah.
Like it adds even more of a human element to the detachment of him.
Now, what did he just say to him? He said about there's some system being active. Is that talking about the system?
Yeah, he knows
Yeah,
that they're in
okay.
that room trying to get the plans.
You have to hit the gate. The shield's open. Okay, gotcha. So they're looking to now transmit the plans out.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get the high-speed internet going.
So, for those of you that are watching, we are at 1 hour and 48 minutes in Rogue One, but it really is such good stuff with 26 minutes left. Bodhi Rook is plugging in his cable there. We have the TIE Phantoms, the TIE Strikers appearing on the beach. K2SO is dead, unfortunately.
I ain't gonna lie. I want one of those ties ASAP. Like there was a fire.
Oh yeah, the ties look great.
So green leader goes down, or is that blue?
Blue.
Wasn't there a scene in the trailer with like Krennic walking in the water?
Yep.
Do you remember that?
Yep.
We don't get that one. I feel like there's another beach scene.
There are so many things we didn't get from the trailers. Like there's the one scene where she has the plants in her hand and they're running away from a walker.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's another one with the TIE Fighter appearing right in front of her on top of the outpost building tower.
Yep.
Yeah, this
Oh, the
movie is
first
like
initial,
renowned for that.
yeah, the first initial trailer, a good majority of that trailer, I believe, wasn't even in this movie.
Man, you see the Death Troopers doing absolute work here.
Oh, they're wrecking people. Like that's why I like them because they actually kill people. They're not playing around.
They're not like the Praetorian Guards.
Yeah.
They're not. They're not the regular stormtroopers, bro. That's all. Man, that's all that's important. Oh, nice. Yeah,
Damn.
if the sound was on, dude, the music would be blaring right now. This music's so good. Yeah, like this is yeah. I forget who sacrificed himself here at this point. Is this Chimrit?
Cheer it.
Oh, no, yeah,
Cheer.
Chirrut, he does
Yep.
it. Chirrut, he does it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah. The plans look like a
Everyone's
regular
Nice.
hard drive.
Ah, Chris, you're
Old
so
school
great.
70s vibe.
I mean, it's good they did that though, just to like keep it consistent with
Oh
the New
yeah.
Hope.
Mm.
Things are really heating up.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is pretty dope.
Wow.
Yeah, the action. So I don't think we really talked about the action much in this movie. I think it's really, really, really good. Like I
Yes.
see. Yeah.
Well, like I said earlier, these final like 20-25 minutes that we're in right now, these are this is the total basically rework of Tony Gilroy, which is he's doing the Andor show, so you know
Right.
that's a good sign.
Right.
Wow, yeah. If he's actually being in charge of the series,
I'm
like,
pretty sure
wow.
he's credited on. I'm pretty sure he's like throughout like not a producer, but I'm pretty sure he's
No, I'm pretty
hands
sure
on
he's been
involved with
heavily
it.
involved. Like
Yeah,
he's like an executive producer or something.
yeah. But yeah, so basically these final 20 minutes of reviewing, like it's kind of what we could potentially be getting in the Andor series action wise.
Oh no. And we haven't really talked enough about the relation between Cheer and Baze. This brotherly
Yep.
bond they have. It's just like, man, that's good.
Well, it is. It's really good. One of the funniest parts too. I'm sure you guys may or may not remember it, but when Donnie Yen and the guy that played Baze were at Celebration, um, Baze, the guy that plays Baze, cracked the joke about Donnie Yen's character dying, and then he
Yeah.
stopped. Then he stopped and was like, because he basically said he didn't understand like the English translation exactly, so he didn't mean to say that. So
No, he says,
yeah, he
and
pretty
all
much
those
spoiled it for
guys
the whole
die.
celebration.
He says, and all
Yeah.
those
Yeah,
guys
or yeah, he said,
dead
and
or something
all
like
those
that. I
guys
was
die.
like,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
and they like cut the feed, or like you could tell all the actors on stage were like shocked, like, oh my gosh, please
Oh
get
yeah.
this guy to stop talking, like. But
Yeah.
then they edited it out of like the live stream, so you can't ever see that part.
Uh,
I love the
Yeah.
use of the ion torpedoes,
Yep.
and it shuts down. Wow.
I
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
even.
the
I
ion.
forgot. I forgot to use those.
Yeah, the ion torpedoes were always so fascinating to me. Just going back to Empire when they used them to clear out for the rebels to escape from Hoth.
All right. Dude, Admiral Radis is so clutch. Now, what's his ship? I forget. Is that like the Hammerhead? No, it's what's his ship called?
Oh man.
This is like
Radis's
Corellia
ship?
something. Yeah.
Oh man.
It has a specific name though. I 100% remember hearing. Oh,
Yeah.
what
Oh,
was
I
it
know. I
called?
used to play the game that had the ship in it.
Oh, he's dead.
Yep. But the main thing was he got the message out in time before that happened. So he's
Yeah. I like that shot.
yeah. People are just realizing that the ones on the planet are not going to make it all alive.
Now he's just like a madman possessed. He's like, I'm gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, this is badass. Killing spree.
Yeah, but he's fake. Damn.
Achievement unlocked.
Yep.
Yeah, I just love. Damn, this is brutal.
It is
Oh
actually good
man.
they did it is actually good they didn't bring Vader into this because he would have had all these people wrecked in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, I could imagine him like using the force too on like the X-wings and like throwing the X-wings down into troops on the ground and crazy
Mhm.
ass stuff like
Man,
that.
gosh, Chris, don't even say that. Okay, never mind. I retract that statement. Vader should have been on the beach then if he was going to pull an X-wing out of the sky.
That'd be kind of dope.
I love the use the now these are old Republic ships. Now they first appeared in Knights of the Old Republic and then they later
Yep.
appeared in Star Wars Rebels as canon.
Mhm.
But to again see these things and like the fact that they're living up to their namesake of a
Mhm.
hammerhead, like they're literally butting into these freaking cruisers and pushing them is so cool.
Yeah, I like that ship a lot. Now, back me up on this particular scene. I remember in the trailer, like a TIE fighter pops up in
That's what
front
I
of
was
her.
talking about. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so like,
Right.
why did they get rid of that?
No idea.
Because I mean, I think I heard.
I know what it basically Milton they replayed the AT-AT scene like twice. They had an X-wing blast the AT-AT and then blast the TIE fighter in like the exact same shot structure.
Mhm.
Basically, is why because
Okay.
it's basically repetitive shots.
Okay.
That was the reasoning. When I had done my reading on it was basically they had those shots, and it was basically you don't want to repeat the same style of shot just
Yep.
like that.
Mhm.
Which I mean, it works. In my opinion, it works great for an AT-AT.
Oh man.
That looks good. Dude, that's
That's a
amazing.
shot of
That's a
booty.
yeah. That should be like a puzzle or something. A 3D puzzle.
Oh, that'd be great.
Wow.
Yeah, I like that. Mm. Critic's like, what the hell is going on out there? Dude, it's crazy how we only have like 15 minutes left in this film, and like I feel like there's still a lot more. Like this is
Oh yeah.
insane. Why would you ask that stupid question? Who are you? Like, I didn't like her response. Oh, that was corny.
Yeah,
You know who I am. I just feel like now. I mean,
that's
he
so
knows.
that's so stereotypical.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you don't have to do all that. It's extra. But
That
again,
is
it play. Go ahead, Ben.
it's just exposition for the audience.
Yeah,
Is literally all it
and
is.
that's all it is. I think they're just trying to get us to think that Galen would know, but you got to hear us or hear the person tell him that. But it's whatever.
Damn.
I still remember all the theories. Is Jin Ray's mom?
Oh, God, I hated that. Oh my gosh, dude.
Ha!
It was just like, oh, come on. Like,
It's because she's a petite brunette chick.
see, again, my point. Again, the old graphics though, like that's what I'm saying. I kind of like that.
Oh, 100%.
This is basically the outro music
Hmm.
that carries us all the way till the end.
Now, do you think they could have got off the planet?
Yeah, they probably could have. Like, I mean, the shield is down at this point. If they found some kind of a transport on the ground, they would have been able to fly out of there. But I guess
Hmm.
they just really didn't have enough time.
I mean, I feel like someone could have gotten them. I mean, it's just I don't know. They didn't have to die, but it makes sense that they did.
Well, it's like you, and I was just
Yeah.
looking at this. You have those GS-95 transports that have no other purpose than being a transport, like those bubble-looking
Hmm.
ships.
Yep.
Like they don't have
Yeah.
offensive weaponry on those things. Like why else are they in the battle? Like have one of those go down there and scoop them up. But
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Lord Vader will handle the fleet.
When when he said that, I was like, oh man, it's gonna get real. At
yeah,
some point in this movie, it's gonna get real.
Dude, my neighbor right now. So I'm down here in my living room, and my neighbor is like outside, like crying with his kid.
In the world.
This is
Oh my
crazy.
wow.
gosh.
Like this is the thing about having a live podcast, fellas. Like you hear this stuff like outside of your house.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the kid was 10 something. Maybe the kid need to watch some Star Wars to make him feel better.
That sounds like it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, that's like another interesting thing too that got cut. So we have, like I said, the Vader Normandy scene earlier, and then another one that got cut that was on the table in the final thing, and then they decided not to do it. Was the our main Rogue One crew of Jin and Cassian and all them. Basically, it was going to be the exact same ending where they're trying to hand the plans off to Leia's cruiser and Vader,
Mhm.
but Vader was going to be the one chopping up Jin and chopping up Cassie, and they were like, "Hold up, this is actually too dark. Like
Yeah.
we can't have Vader going like this brutally
I
like."
love that.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry, Ben.
love
Go ahead.
that.
oh, you're good.
Yeah, he just runs right into it. But go ahead, Ben.
Yeah.
Continue.
Do you hear that? Boom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the audio design of this whole final 20 minutes is great. Like the
Mm.
music, the sound effects, etc. And then I know also Gareth Edwards mentioned there was going to be a sequence of, so we had, like I said, the Vader like brutally killing our main Rogue One crew, which they wouldn't have passed that because that was just too much. And then also there was apparently they considered having Jin and Cassian survive by shooting off in an escape pod from somewhere in this sequence. Like apparently one of the ships had an escape pod where they could have shot somewhere out into the ocean or away from this place, away from Scarab Base, and they considered doing that, but they decided not to.
Got you.
Yeah, but I just gotta say I love the fact that Jin and Cassian are not like a romantic thing. Like that's just a brotherhood type of experience of like, hey, we're gonna both die. Let's not be alone in this moment.
Yep.
So, but there was no
Oh, I would have.
romantics.
Oh, I would have crushed it if they would have started like making out. I would have been like, "Are you kidding me?" I think.
Yeah,
Dude,
okay, here we go.
this mother effing part. Chris, I don't like to drop F bombs on your show, dude, but at one point you almost got one a second ago because this part is so badass.
Oh, it's incredible.
Here we
Like
go,
just
the Vader
ugh,
scene.
like this man. This makes me want to
Turns
be a
it,
villain, dude.
it
So
turns
real
into.
quick, did you guys notice he shut his chest plate off before he goes into action here?
Oh, I didn't.
That's
Oh, I
crazy.
didn't notice that.
I
Yep,
didn't realize
yep. So yeah, if you guys didn't notice that, so Vader, I'll explain it. Let's just watch this scene.
it.
This is great commentary. Everyone being
Yeah.
quiet, but hey,
No, but you look at the slice. Oh, I love that slice in half, dude. Bro, I remember seeing this particular scene, and I remember going to work like that next day because I watched it on a Thursday night showing, and I told my one
Yeah.
boss to say, "Yo, he reminded me of Michael Myers in the
Yep.
scene." I was like, because they were like, how was Vader in this movie? Because they didn't see it, they heard about him. I was like, they do him right. I'm like, he was in it for 8 minutes total of the film, but they do him right.
But yeah, I mean, he threw that guy into the ceiling and chopped him.
Yeah, dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's fire.
That's one of
Like,
the most badass looks of Vader, just like his cape billowing in the wind with like the hangar bay of this space around him. Like,
oh yeah, yeah, they definitely, yeah. Now looking at this scene again, they definitely could not have had our Rogue One crew be there because that would have been way too brutal, I think.
Hmm.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah. So when next time you guys check out this scene, if you notice right before Vader springs into action on him, like when he surprises him, if you notice he shuts his chest plate off, so it's almost like a surprise. And when he does that, though, you know, when from what I've read, anyways, like in terms of like canon and stuff, when his the lights are off on his chest plate, he's basically holding his breath. So basically, he went and like basically did that as a surprise tactic
Mm.
to surprise the rebels there.
well, there you have it. Credits are rolling on Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and 2 hours and 15 minutes have now passed us in the blink of an eye because, as Milton was saying, at one moment we were like 40 minutes past the song Rare Death Scene. It's like, hey, that felt like 10 minutes ago. And that's
Yeah.
credit to the writing, credit to the directing, and everybody involved for making this film so enjoyable from start to finish. So,
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's such
This
a, yeah, it stands out. Like this movie, I just can't. Man, I'm sorry. Like this movie's so good, and I just love how it ties into A New Hope. It just strengthens A New Hope so much for me.
Oh yeah, this movie it really adds to A New Hope a lot. I think heck, talking about animated parts, even the Leia part wasn't that bad. It was a little clunky, but it works. That's the important thing. Like, we can't look back on these movies and just judge them like, oh, we're judging them with 2022 graphics. It's like, yeah, this movie was made 7 years ago. You can't judge it on that. So like to me, I think it all worked. It flowed really well. I really love the cinematography for the movie. The cinematography is great. The story's great. The characters are great.
Mm.
The Vader scene easily is, in my opinion, one of the top 5 Star Wars scenes. Just period. It's just in the top 5 Star Wars scenes, I think. Um, and yeah, like I don't know. I feel like this movie. We can rate it, fellas, if you'd like. I would say this movie for me, out of the grand scheme of things, it's like I said, it's not my top 3, but it's definitely my top 5 favorite Star Wars movies. So with that, I would have to give this movie a 9 out of 10.
I echo you on that, Ben. I was thinking about 9.5
Yeah,
out of 10.
yeah. I think a 9 for sure. I mean, it's got to me teeny weeny flaws and some like clunky dialogue here there and some of them choices, but 9 out of 10. Like it's not a bad Star Wars movie, obviously, and it's not a bad movie in general.
Oh, for sure, Milton, you brought up a good point when we were, I don't know, maybe halfway through the movie or so. You mentioned when you see it on TV, like you'll stop and watch it. That's when you know that's a good movie.
Facts.
Like I do that for Rogue One. I do that for the original trilogy movies. I do that for Revenge of the Sith.
Mm.
I'll do that for Force Awakens because I really enjoy that movie.
You're right.
I never do that for the middle sequel movie, but like I just think,
I'll do it
yeah,
for
like,
Attack of the Clones, dude. Like I'm not even
oh,
joking.
Attack of the
Like
Clones for sure.
and people shit on that movie, but it's like Attack of the Clones ain't bad, but it's very very much
Yep.
rewatchable.
Oh, for sure. Like that's the funny part about it is like we sit here and we're like, oh, we'll stop on TV and watch it, and then you're getting commercial breaks when you can turn on Disney Plus. But there still is, to me, there's still something about watching a movie like on TV for just scrolling through the guide and seeing, oh, Star Wars is on.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Heck yeah, but man, oh man. First spin-off movie, right? We were going great. There's going to be a lot more spin-off movies, but we see how things are going now. But hey, we are getting a spin-off series with Cassian Andor, so I wanted to make sure we watch Rogue One before we see that series later this year because it's nice that I will have watched this fresh now before that. I'll probably watch it again, honestly, before that show comes out, a little closer beforehand, but good, good, good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what we got coming up, let's see. This week we had Bounty Hunters number 21 release. A lot of fun there with Byron Valence. Well, actually, Byron Valence is not in that one. We have Tonga and we have all these other characters. So go check out my review on that one. Next week is a big week. We got Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. So I'm looking forward to, sharing my thoughts on the podcast next week. I'm sure I won't have the game beaten by then. It comes out on Tuesday. So me and Ben will definitely give our initial impressions of what we think so far of the game. So really looking forward to a new Star Wars video game release. We didn't have a single Star Wars game released last year, so it's quite overdue.
I'm about to say you guys can have your own little segment whenever you talk about that. By all means, go ahead.
Oh yeah, like I'm super excited for that game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like you said, Chris, I'm sure we won't have it beat by then, just because there's so much to do. But I can't wait to like dive into it. Obviously, I'm sure we'll talk about it throughout the week on our social media accounts and everything. And I don't know, I just think it's going to be a fun game. Like finally an open world Star Wars game, like we're getting until we get the actual open world game. So like that's something at least.
Yeah. So I've been seeing a lot of footage of that on the internet and looking forward to playing through all of that. For those of you that want to see what we're doing in the future, you can follow us at our Twitter handles. What are you talking about this week, Ben? Anything particular?
Well,
sports is kind of. Are you following any sports right now? What's going on with all that?
Not football season. There's no football season, so I'm not really following any sports. Basically, what I'm up to. Also, just to give a shout out, and if any of our viewers or listeners, like, hey, if you're on social media like this week, send Matt Lanter, from Clone Wars, well wishes because he got hospitalized this week actually, and had to have an emergency surgery. So like, if you see Matt Lanter on like social media, like on Twitter, like, hey, send him well wishes, like, just because I'm sure he'd like to like get his spirits up and stuff. So that's just something
Nice.
just to, like, shout out to our viewers and audience, like, hey, give Matt Lanter a shout out. And then for me, I don't really have much planned this weekend. I just caught up on the Halo episode, which was amazing, and that show's great. Like, I feel like I could just go and sit and watch the first 2 Halo episodes again because it's so good. And then I'm gonna work out. I'm actually down. It was great this week. Like, so, I'm dieting and stuff. The scale was kind of stuck, like from like Sunday to Wednesday, it wasn't moving, and I was like, oh man. And I was like, I've been hitting my diet perfectly, so I know that something's happening, just the scale hasn't moved yet. And then today I got on the scale and I was down 3 pounds from last week, so I was like, sweet, like, finally it happened.
Nice.
So diet's going well, fitness is going well, lifting is going well, and so it should be a good weekend. And then I'm going to get up and lift tomorrow morning, and that's about all I'm up to. And then, you can find me on Twitter at RealBenMaynard, talking pretty much Star Wars and fitness and a little bit of sports right now until the fall.
Heck yeah. What about you, Milton?
Yeah, this weekend actually it's WrestleMania weekend.
Oh yeah.
Pat McAfee is there.
Yeah, Pat McAfee is the color commentary for SmackDown. So,
Yep.
For those who don't know, I'm a huge wrestling fan in general. Like, have I been a fan of WWE over the last couple of years? I've been on and off about it, but I do like watching still when I can, or even keeping up with the storylines. So tomorrow night, I'm hanging out with some buddies. We're going to do the first night of WrestleMania at my friend's house, which is going to be fun. Some dates, some drinking, having a good time, laughing, reminiscing about our childhood of being wrestling fans. Also, tomorrow morning I'll get up and do my normal Saturday core and cardio workout, and I'll finish off my workout week with a good Saturday workout. Might ride my bike depending on the weather this weekend, because I do like bike riding usually on the weekends, or hitting a heavy bag at the gym. So I'm saying with Ben, I work out like a madman, and I'm usually up every day by 4:00 in the morning
Nice.
at the gym. And trust me, these guys have seen my workout videos on Instagram and Facebook, and I go hard. And I'm actually down. What am I down to now? I'm down this morning. I was down to 256.
Man, you're killing it.
Yeah,
Good job.
I started out. Drum roll, please. I started out in this journey last June, weighing 364.
Holy crap.
So that's
So I
110,
Oh
almost.
about
my
it's about
god.
105, 100, yeah. So, I mean, I feel great, look great. I mean, I'm pretty much back to my body I had when I was in college playing like college football. So yeah, like I feel awesome. I mean, again, these guys have seen my transformation. So if you follow me on Instagram, great. Even on my Facebook, that'd be great. But usually I'm on Twitter talking sports at Milton Weber 7. Again, if I want to throw my Instagram handle out there, I'll probably let Chris throw it out there eventually. So yeah, if you want to check out some fitness stuff, by all means, hit up me and Ben. We always like to talk fitness, make sure that,
Yep.
you promote a healthier lifestyle because you know what? Our health is the most important thing we have in life. So,
For sure. That's one of the most important things. Like a lot of people view fitness as, here we go, Outer Rim Fitness Podcast.
here we
But
go.
a lot of people view fitness as, like for example, like with your Instagram or like social media posts, like they view it just as what's the word, like aesthetics, I guess.
Mhm.
Like like people, they'll see people posting workout videos and think, oh, they're just doing it for views, or because they want to look good or whatever. But no, it's like those people are like in trying to like improve their health and stuff. Like you shouldn't like roll your eyes at it. You should be like, oh man, that's cool. Like I'm impressed by, like, they're putting themselves out there like that, because a lot of people probably couldn't even put themselves out there like this just to talk on a live stream like we are, much less post an actual video of them lifting, for example.
Mhm.
So like, just for, when people do that, it's great seeing. I love seeing people like post fitness stuff. I think it's always like inspiring and great. Like, kid you not, Milton. Like, when I sometimes during the week when I think I've thought about cheating on my diet and stuff, I'm like, oh man, but Milton's killing it. Like I can't go and cheat on my diet, because I mean he's lost way more than I have, and like, you're killing it. And so like, even just like you, not just being just my friend, I'm like, man, I'm inspired by that. So I don't want to like
No, I
cheat on
appreciate
my
that.
diet.
No, I do. I really do like hearing
Yep.
those words. And Chris, I know you're trying to wrap up soon, but I just want to say, like, anyone out there who's listening to watching, like, if you feel like, no matter what you do in life, whether it's fitness, your job, your marriage, your relationship, whatever, if you feel like giving up on it, like, that's the easiest thing to do. Like, it's okay to take a breath, reset, and try to make adjustments and move forward and continue pushing through it. And during this journey, and Ben can relate and Chris can relate. 'Cause I know Chris works out too. There's always ups and downs in this fitness journey, and you have to just continue to push forward and rely on your positive supports, make the changes, and keep grinding. So
Yep. Yeah. You move well today, so you can move well tomorrow.
big facts.
So you
Yep.
gotta just keep a body in motion, stays in motion, and
Hmm.
it goes with eating well too. You're gonna feel better when you do this sort of thing on
Absolutely.
a routine basis, and that's helps. A healthy body is a healthy soul as well. So keep what we say in mind, and that's how we stay active and work on longevity too. Longevity is a huge thing. So
Mhm.
yeah, there we go. But yeah, thanks for sharing, Milton. I mean, that's inspiring
Yeah.
for a lot of people out there listening and watching to see how far you come, you know?
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, no doubt, man. And like I said, a lot of it's just my personal doing in the sense of what I wanted to do, but also I wanted to be healthier. I wanted to get back to what I normally used to be, and it just life gets in the way. COVID happened 2 years ago,
Oh yeah.
so that definitely helps with late night snacking and whatever. But it's no excuse now. The world's getting back to normal for the most part. So let's get out there and just take care of yourselves because your family needs you around. That's most important.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. So next week is the Fan Expo Philadelphia. I will be there. We might have another
I
guest there
will
as
I
well.
will be probably getting my ticket tomorrow. Like I need to go on the website and I actually looked this past week. Just I will be probably getting a ticket and you'll be seeing me there next week most likely.
Holy crap. For those of you that don't know, none of us have actually ever seen any of each other in live action or
Live
reality,
action.
Live
whatever you want to
action.
call it.
There
Live
we go.
action reality.
Yeah.
In person. There we go. In person. So that'll be a fun thing
Yeah.
if that comes through. So yeah, there's gonna be on Saturday I will be there, and there's gonna be Ashley Eckstein at 1 o'clock, and then we have Ming Na Wen at 2 o'clock Eastern So maybe they'll shed some light on some of the Star Wars and maybe give us a hint or something like that. Who knows? I'm not counting on it, but it's gonna be fun nonetheless. It's gonna be fun nonetheless. So we hope to maybe see some of you out there as well. So definitely try to hit us up on our Twitters if you're gonna be there as well. Well, anyway, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this week's show. A little update on Obi-Wan and looking at Rogue One for the first time for me in a while. So that was a lot of fun, as always, watching it with friends, talking, trying to keep a well-paced conversation while also just enjoying the movie that we all so much unanimously love with Rogue One. So there you go. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content so you can keep up to date when we go live pretty much every Friday. And you can also download us on any of our podcast streaming apps to listen to us on the go, Outer Rim Transmission. So for Ben, for Milton, for Chris, aka Starrapter, thanks everybody for watching, and may the Force be with you always in transmission. All right.
There we go.
Very good. Very good.